for a sec. I'm really good at what I do.
Awesome. And we're live. And I know that's why you're still in business, isn't it?
Because I'm creative or I'm fast at things.
You're creative and fast, and not always both, and sometimes both. It all doesn't matter because you are you. You
Yeah, that's pretty
make awesome.
awesome.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Corpse Garden, where our coffee brings all the zombies to the yard. Now, if you want to make cold brew for when you do these night shows, you get your favorite zombie coffee. Any of the flavors will work. You just need to be ground. And you set you up a tub with about 2 gallons of water, and you put your coffee in it, and you let it sit for 24 hours, and then you strain it. And then you put it in the you put it in your favorite jug. I like the ones with a spout. And you just set it in your fridge, and you're good for the week. Because, well, this is my normal size cup of coffee. And you add your ice, you add your favorite creamer, any sweetener you want, and then you got iced coffee all week for the whole any time of the day you want. Have you tried that?
I am not a coffee drinker.
Okay. I know you do Mountain Dew, but
I do Diet Mountain Dew, anything diet, but I will tell you, my daughter... So where I live, right beside me, my wonderful neighbors is a coffee shop. So they think it's kind of ironic that I never come to visit them to get anything for myself. I get my daughter a iced hot chocolate, and my wife gets a mocha. So it's one of those things that they know that there's just, something there or something not there. But we quite enjoy just having the neighbors. I can tell you I'm not a coffee drinker, and everybody's like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's just how I am. And, I got friends that they drink so much. And to tell you, when I go on a fire call, I don't make one pot of coffee. No, I make 90 cups of coffee, and I bring them out to the fires. Everybody else drinks them. And as we're talking about this coffee, one of the weirdest mixes that I've seen at a fire scene has been hot chocolate packet mixed with black coffee. And when I make black coffee, it is strong.
Yeah.
I mean, strong. So I do want to get some of the coffee that we advertise, and they're great sponsors. And I do want to make some for the firefighters and not say a single thing and see what they say about it.
Okay.
I just, I got so much going on that sometimes it's like hard to believe I'm still breathing.
Understandable. And that's not weird to me. I do that normally. I put straight cocoa powder in with the milk and the sugar into my coffee. First, I put the cocoa powder in with the sugar so it dissolves, and then add the other. But yeah, it tastes really nice.
And you know, I will never say that coffee is one of those things that you drink it or you don't drink it, because that's not even true either. It's sometimes a need, and everybody told me it's an acquired taste. And you know what? I've been told many times I'm a fancy dish. It just takes a little time to acquire taste for me. And honestly, you guys have been really nice to allow my taste and character to come on the show repeatedly and come spend quality time with many of you guys.
Oh,
and
we love your character.
We can all see that, you know, I admit that I am nuts.
Well, so are we. But I do want to say thank you to Ashley Moore, my wonderful, amazing sister-in-law, for this cemetery picture. She got it from Savannah, Georgia, at the famous cemetery that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. But yeah.
There is a cemetery that is less than 30 minutes from me, and I need to get photos of that one because that tombstone is a tombstone that I know that you will absolutely love because it is over 200 years old.
Ooh, I love all tombstones.
No, it's not. Yeah, no. Yes, over 200 years old because the man that died was part of the Revolutionary War. He was actually a spy for General George Washington.
That's
so yeah,
amazing.
And I'm going to do a background switch, so have a little patience because I got something for you here. And we know how much I love having different backgrounds. I'm waiting for one device, talk device. I think it's here. And let's look at it. It's loading. There you go.
Hey, it's Dad. Yay.
There you go. Because honestly, you know, you told me it was the coolest gravestone, and you know what? Me being a haunter in Ohio, I have death stuff around me. I have tombstones. I have this and that, and I think you know what? That one right there is amazing. I know a friend of mine that he passed. Boy, that's a lot of keys.
Yeah. These were actually keys given to me by my friend Ray. That's why that's what it says, keys to all the cemeteries. But yeah. But not many people have tombstones like that. So a lot of them are made by other people. That
and
one,
you know, the first job I ever got, I was in track, and during track season, I could not go to work on Fridays to my regular job. This old man, he took care of me, and since has passed, and he was one of the ones I called one of the gentle giants here in my village. And I'm going to say my village because that's what we are. I know Raz just absolutely loves that I call it a village, and people are like, get your torches ready. He's talking about the village again. But actually, him and his wife, and now their son owns it and runs it, but they have a memorial store that they make gravestones and this and that, and they have them embroidered, everything you want to get taken care of that picture and this and that. And one of my former former classmates that passed away. He passed away of cancer. He actually has 3 trucks that he redid on his tombstone. And I do miss him.
That's epic.
But he taught us a very, very good lesson. When he lost his arm and he lost his eye, somebody made a comment that they were sad. And he said, I don't understand why you're sad. And they said, well, you're going through and you lost your arm. And he looked at everybody in that room and said, you're not the one that's got to sew up all your shirts. Because, you know, he didn't have arm no more. So they went ahead and sewed it up so it would fit him correctly. He did pass away. But he showed a lot of people a lot of things. My grandfather passed away. He showed me a lot of things, being a person that dealt with lung cancer and was not a smoker. So death has been a big part of my life. My great uncle, he is a caretaker at a cemetery. So I can't get around it. Death has been something, and he has a way to take care of stuff by every time he buries someone, he tells them a joke. As he is burying them, he's telling them jokes.
That is
he admits no one ever laughs at his jokes, but you know.
Well, they're dead. One of my earliest memories is going to my grandmother's funeral in the middle of nowhere in Athens, Georgia. And I remember it being fall and I remember it being rainy and green and leaves below my feet. I'm not sure if it was fall or just early spring, but the leaves were still there. And my mom looking at me and telling me that it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sad. That we're going to have to do this again with other family members. But it's never... It doesn't make me any less to cry and grieve. And I think the hardest one to grieve was my mom.
Trying to share our podcast here on my Facebook, and I had a video that popped up, and I'm like, oh! It's not that I'm not paying attention to you. I'm trying to say, hey, we're live and come see us and talk to us. And oh my gosh. You know what one of the biggest taboos in haunted houses is right now?
What?
And I don't know why it's such a big taboo, but it certainly seems like it is. If you would walk around with an urn and you would act like you had ashes in it, and then what you had in there, you poured out in people's hands, it just creeps out the actors. It creeps out the people that go through to haunt, this and that. It's just not something that is common. And you know what? It's okay.
Oh, but
because
I love it.
We cannot look at people and say that death is not around us. If we go and we say that we're scared to death, it's not fair, because then we're going to fear having the life, knowing that we will have the death. So go out, make sure you live your life, enjoy your life. I'm not saying make mistakes that you will regret after death. I am saying go and make sure you live your life, because we all will stop our last breathing. And there was something told to me a while back, and Friday, I think that you'll enjoy this. There's only 2 days that you have in your life that are not 24 hours. Right there's Grandpa. Hi, Grandpa, which it is not my real grandfather. My real grandfather, he is buried in a vault. Grandma is buried right beside him. And in fact, you do have a picture of their tombstone.
I do? Yes, I do. It was in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I was working on something. I wasn't ignoring you.
Okay. Yeah, I put it as because he missed the first part. You saw, right?
Yeah, I did. So that is my grandmother and grandfather's, and I chose. And if my family ever sees these podcasts, they'll probably look at it and just be like, "Why?" And my grandmother and my grandfather loved stories. They loved my stories. I would come home from work and I would tell stories, and my grandfather just loved listening to them stories. And when grandma got older and she got sicker, she loved to listen to those stories. So why not include my grandparents in one? But my grandma's only thing that she requested was if I would ever see a picture of her in her casket, like on display, and it was a picture on Facebook, please get it off of Facebook. Because for some reason she swore there was a photo of her in a casket on Facebook. I've never found it. But
I haven't either.
Yeah, you know what? Grandma just said it wasn't flattering picture of her.
Yeah. I've lost it. But yeah, that I understand. But then again, I'd be uncomfortable if I saw pictures of me anywhere in a casket. On when it comes to the man behind you, I don't think he was afraid of death because he always went and did things. Like he put 3 lawnmower motors on a scooter, and then
Okay, I'm intrigued at this. Let's go for this.
Okay, he'd go down by the dams, and because there was a straightaway over there that was fun to ride on, and he'd start the thing and he'd get going, and he'd enjoy doing things like that, or going fishing and somehow putting his boat in a tree.
Oh
I wish
boy,
I still had those pictures.
You can't top that one.
No, but then
Not
again,
yet, at least.
No, but he's also was resilient. He went through 3 brain surgeries until it finally got him. And I think the thing that scared me most when I was like 7, I think 9 years old, he was in a truck crash. And the other truck was okay, just a little bit of damage, but his truck was in pieces everywhere. You could see the sugar packages everywhere. And he just woke up in his seat, laying on his back. And his leg was broke and 3 ribs were broke, and that was it. And he lived.
Wow. You know, I asked you in the beginning what we talk about in this. And
what do we talk about? We talk about
in this show
loved one stories, and talk about how we see death.
And you know, when I asked you about this and you explained exactly what you did to me just now, I said, I'm incredible. I want to do this. And here I forgot totally about today. And I apologize. I almost did not make it. Well, good morning. Look at that.
Oh,
we got a samurai there.
Good morning. If you'd like to join us, it's in the chat.
Yeah.
I love that sensei.
And that is one of the things about death. People, they don't want to talk about it. They want to move on. They don't want to think about it. They fear it. You're in. Look at that. He's a bed. Yeah, you know what? It's okay because you can access it from your phone. You can be in bed. Because I've been told that too. But this is actually a topic that's a really big thing. There's my buddy Nick. He got to see me today. I thought it was great because he came after me, and I felt like I was in the Scooby-Doo show. Because, I didn't even know where he was. And then all of a sudden, I thought that was his truck. He came around the corner and gave. You know what? When it comes down to true friends, his brother, have been with me since I was playing Ninja Turtles in the top of my locker. And he will absolutely bring that up. I guarantee it, if I wasn't going to say it. But I really believe that today's society has a lot more open mind than a lot of things. And you know what? Look around to other cultures and see how they celebrate the dead. And that's a main thing. I mean, Cinco de Mayo, the Day of the Dead. That actually is 3 days.
Cinco de Mayo is...
Or not Cinco de Mayo. Oh, my gosh. Cinco de Mayo is
their Independence
the 5th of May.
Day.
Yep,
yes, they celebrate the dead, yes, but not in that way.
Nope. I love you too.
Well, there is yay. There is
the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead. How they take care of their dead. They keep their dead at home. They only inter them long enough for the bones to lose all of their the skin and muscle tissue and everything, and then they take the bones home. They give their skulls, in some countries, they give their skulls cigarettes and candy.
Right.
How
and
how they do it is so different from here, because the capitalist system, they don't want you to do it at home. They want to do it differently.
And as we go on with our wonderful different outlooks on death and outlooks on what a funeral looks like and this and that through different people, different families, different types of religion, I will tell you right now, one of the best people that I would love to get on this show, and if she ever finds this video, please come join us. It's Lauren. I would love to have Lauren.
Did you ever send her that message?
I did send her the message, and I have not got anything back.
Okay.
I went on her Instagram and sent her a message.
Okay.
I have popped in to her TikToks a few times and, kind of hinted around, hey, not trying to be a stalker. I am a stalker. I don't mean to be, but it comes naturally, apparently.
I have watched all of her videos too, but then again, that's okay. But I haven't said anything, but I do want to hear more of her ghost stories. I do want to hear more of her thoughts on death. But then again, there's also Caitlin Doherty. I don't know if you've watched any Ask a Mortician videos.
I don't think I found them.
Oh,
you see them? You need to send them to me. I want to see them.
I will send you her YouTube channel. She's the one that got me started on this particular idea.
Okay.
Originally, before I think we were in Caldwell, and it was 2013, 2014. Yeah, 2013. I got Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and other stories from the funeral, the crematorium, I think it is. And it's her biography. And then from there, I found out it was okay to ask the questions I had. And then I found her YouTube channel, and then I proceeded to watch every single video on her YouTube channel.
Yeah. And
then later on, Lauren, the mortician, had started doing her thing. And she does it very differently. And so many other morticians are amazing. They will answer your questions and tell you things about death, about how it's okay to see it differently and want to actually spend more time with the dead body of your loved ones, or about the metal tombstones in a particular cemetery.
Right. I will tell you, Lauren just put out a video that I just seen. I don't know when it got put out, because we all know how TikTok likes to put different stuff in, and it's never here. Lauren,
you actually have to go in to find out the date.
Yeah, I know. Lauren brought her viewers to a place that makes vaults.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing for me to really see how many different vaults you can actually have. And once again, great uncle, he's a crypt keeper or a cemetery manager or whatever we want to call him. He goes out, he gets them ready, and he's got to put them in place. And it's not always the easiest thing in the world. Whoa. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of comments.
I did that on purpose.
Okay.
I basically I was putting their links in the chat.
Okay. It was really funny. Also, we're looking at the comments, and I had like a whole bunch of comments very quickly, and I thought, what happened? But you know what? It's okay. I
wanted everybody to find them.
I am still new to this whole podcasting, video chatting, whatever the traditional terminology actually is for this. But when it comes down to death,
I am very new. I am picking it as I go.
You fake it until you make it, right? But I will tell you, I really always love the different ways that people feel the funeral has to go. And when you set up a funeral and you're setting up your funeral, you got to understand that funeral might be what you like, what you want, how you want to be honored. But I've never known a single person to come out of a grave and give 2 thumbs up and say, yeah. A funeral process is actually for the grieving family. Yes, there is how the family member wanted, but there's always that one family member that just needs something a little different.
Have you talked with your family member about how you would like, if you would like to be put in the ground, if you'd like to be cremated?
I told everybody, go ahead and cremate me, and then when they see a whole giant box of kitty litter, just sprinkle me in there. Because then I can be with all the other little shits and turds.
My dad said he wanted to be cremated, and if needed, if it ended up another bad winter, use him to dust the path, so it'd be easy for his grandkids to get out of the house. You know,
that's funny.
He didn't get cremated because that apparently wasn't a choice at that moment. We're not going to go into that idea, but either way.
Let me ask you right now, if something would happen to you, how would you like to envision your funeral, or how you want to, what do you want it to be called, and how do you envision it to be done?
I would like to be cremated. I would like to be put in Hello Kitty urns, and I would like them to go to the park, cake and fried chicken and potato salad and all my favorite foods, and just generally have a picnic and talk about life, the fun things that we did, stupid things I did, and talk about what can happen in the future.
Okay. The way I've told everybody, and mine has not changed, is go ahead. You can burn me. You'll get me back in a little plastic baggie. You can go up to it and start shaking it and go fishy if you want to. I really don't care. You can put me in an urn. You can put me in a field. You can put me wherever you want. Sprinkle me around. Put me on your hands and then shaking hands with people. I don't care because I'm gone. But
Here, take
me,
pile fishing.
yeah, you can take me fishing. You can stick me in your hand and walk out off of that pier and take me fishing. Just keep on going until you drown. Nah, don't do that. No.
Take him out to the lake and just go and let him see how many fish he can catch.
Well, I will tell you, if you are releasing earned content, let's be smart.
Hi.
Look, there he is.
All right, you talked me into it.
I didn't talk you into it. I just gave you a suggestion. He showed up.
I'm still in bed.
That's fine.
Well, that's good.
You seem to have nice blue shirt.
Well,
So,
at least I'm wearing a shirt.
Is it for National FFA Week? That's tomorrow, Blue Shirt Day.
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, that's what your answer is. Yes, that sounds great.
We wear
FFA.
pink on Wednesdays and blue on Friday.
No, it's National FFA Week this week. Tomorrow, they encourage everybody to wear blue in honor of FFA. FFA used to stand for Future Farmers of America, which was youngsters learning how to follow in footsteps of agriculture. And now they have just changed it into something else, and they still call it FFA, even though the FFA does not fit the description of the name anymore. But
well, it sounds like you're saying F the Fae, and I don't know if the Fae would be amenable to that.
Depends on the Fae. FFA. Yeah, I don't know. That depends all on the Fae in question. But either way, have you thought about what you want to happen after you pass away? Have you talked to your loved ones?
Have I thought about what I want to happen after I pass away?
Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? Do you want to be thrown in the middle of the sea and fed to a shark?
Under the sea.
Choices.
Well, in all, actually, the legal choices are cremation of some type. They have a couple of different ones. Could be composted.
Issues because I'll be dead. That'll be on somebody else to figure that shit out.
Well,
I only have to worry about
if you have inheritance, it's usually the cheapest way.
Well, you're still confining yourself within the laws of the mortal coil, and you're not looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with how things work, it helps to tell somebody if you have a preference. If you don't, they can do it according to their wishes.
Well, you're let them deal with that. I'm more concerned about what's happening after I die.
Oh, I have no idea. I have an idea, but I have no idea what's going to happen after you die. I know a loved one's going to say, "Hey, Ron, we got to go do something. Come on."
Well,
that's about all I know about when you die.
Here's my take on it. For the people that are left behind that have to deal with my rotting, stinking corpse, I feel sorry for them, not because of my passing, but because they're going to have to come in and clean my damn apartment and pack up all of my clothes and take it to the Goodwill or whatever the hell they want to do with it, and figure out what to do with all of this shit that I have accumulated in here. I'm sure that they don't really want to deal with that. So, let them deal with it. By that time, I won't need it anymore. So I will not care about it as much. It's fun to have it while I'm here, but if I can't take it with me, then so be it.
Interesting. You're the first one that's basically put it like that I've asked. That makes perfect sense too.
Well, I don't really have a will as such right now because I don't really have anything that's really worth passing on to anybody. That it's just material.
I want a
There's
finger.
nothing I have that can't really be replaced or purchased anew. Just it's whatever sentimental value people find in things, and going through my shit and figure out what they want.
I want a finger.
You want a finger?
I want a finger.
There's a finger for you.
Don't care what finger. When you pass away, I want a finger. I got like 17 people saying that they'll give me a finger when they pass away.
You can have that one.
I'll put it in the pickle jar.
Here, I'll even make it extra sweet for you.
All right.
Oh yeah,
Makes
good.
me feel like what is that? Scary movie. Hey Doofy, smell my finger. Ugh.
Yeah.
Now smell mine.
Man.
What is that? My ass.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not for me really to decide what happens to all of everything after I'm gone. I can only deal with the reality of what happens after I shuffle off this mortal coil. So, there's lots of school of thought about what happens after you die.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on it?
And Piers Anthony, the author, sci-fi author, Piers Anthony, has a series of books called The Incarnations of Immortality.
Yes.
And one of the books is On a Pale White Horse, which is about the incarnation of death.
Book 1, for those who want to know.
The main character accidentally kills death, and then, just like Scott Calvin and the Santa Claus, he takes up the mantle and becomes death himself. Not like Oppenheimer, but he and become death. And in one of the scenarios in the book, one of the scenes in the book, he is going to collect the soul of a professed atheist who is killing himself in a bathtub, slitting his wrist, if I remember correctly. And he's sitting there waiting for this person to die. And then when the atheist finally dies, the soul just dissipates into non-existence, and there was nothing to collect because the dude was an atheist, didn't believe in an afterlife. And that was like his first, or death's first, this particular incarnation of death, his first experience with an atheist. Most times he collects a soul and then he takes them to purgatory, and they stay in the purgatory until the greater powers that be, the other incarnations, decide what's supposed to happen to his soul. So I kind of like that imagery where, as an atheist, your soul is no longer needed. So you dissipate into nothingness. I'm not particularly religious. I don't follow any specific religion, but I do like to consider myself spiritual in some way. I mean, I was brought up in a Baptist religion, so I know a little bit about it. And it's not even. Well, no, I don't want to go into that because then we're discussing religion, and that can bring up a whole slew of arguments, and I just don't want to do that. But I tend to look at what happens after death in a more holistic approach, in terms of the possibilities of science and quantum realms, or quantum physics. For example, something is driving our body. Now, we know that there is so much energy out there in the universe, in the cosmos, and we give off energy. We exude energy, but we can also generate energy. So when the body dies, whatever is left over of that energy is going to expel from the body, and it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
might not necessarily dissipate, but it could transform to another type of energy. But a lot of energy has its own energy signature, and you can recognize different types of energy by its energy signature. And you can do this in what I think they call it Kirlian photography, which basically photographs energy of objects, people, things like that. And you can even see this with heat sensing energy and be able to see shapes and stuff like that. So, okay, let's say that after the body dies, whatever is left over of your energy is exuded out into the atmosphere somewhere, and that energy is just floating out there. Okay. So, but it's a specific energy signature that is unique to you. So, even though your body is gone, you still exist as an energy signature. But now you're free to move around and experience a whole different type of existence as that energy signature, which can either merge with other energy signatures that are alike to it or compatible to it, or you can break off and kind of go do your own thing. So that sort of begs the question of whether or not you, as your unique energy signature, has some form of conscious thought or rational explanation. And this is where the whole theory of quantum realms comes into question. Because if you are an energy signature and you are capable of some kind of rational or conscious thought, then you're existing in some sort of a quantum realm that is not bound by the physical laws of our reality, of our being. So, I fantasize. I'd like to think that after I die, not like the atheist in the bathtub whose energy signature just dissipates into non-existence, I would like to think that my energy signature will be traveling around out there and figuring out all of the answers in the cosmos and learning all of this extra knowledge, and basically existing as like an energy ghost, where I'm still aware of everything that's happening in this reality, but I'm not bound by the laws of it because I'm just an energy signature, free to do my own thing. And I'd like to be part of the greater cosmos and, be able to travel to other areas and, see distant planets and distant stars and all of that and interact with all that energy out there. I think that would be pretty cool.
I do too. I hope I end up doing the same. That would be cool. Well, I like that thought process.
Yeah, I've had that thought process for a while, actually. I have this theory about it's kind of like the Schrodinger's cat theory.
Yes.
With Schrodinger's cat, you put a cat in a box. Box has no holes, no doors, no windows, no nothing. You just put the cat in the box, and you leave it for a while, and then you come back. You don't know whether or not the cat is alive or dead until you actually open the box. But Schrodinger, the person who came up with this theory, postulates that is the perfect scenario where that cat exists in a perfect state of being both alive and dead simultaneously. Once you open the box and you have empirical evidence whether or not the cat is alive or dead, then you know. So I imagine that religion is based on faith in an entity that you cannot see, but you might be able to feel because it is its own energy signature. So someone approaches you and says they have captured God and they've trapped God in this box. And it's your job now to protect this box and make sure God does not escape. And they hand you this box. There's no holes, there's no doors, there's no windows. You can't see inside the box. All you can do is take it on faith that God exists in that box. But if you open the box, because God is an energy signature, then it will move too fast for you to recapture it, and God will get away and you will lose God forever. So the only way to continue believing in God is to take it on faith that God exists within that box. It's Schrodinger's box as it applies to God.
That makes sense.
So the question is, do you want empirical evidence that God may or may not exist by opening the box and possibly losing God forever? Or do you keep the box closed and just take it on faith that God is in the box and you know that you keep him forever? And that is essentially the basis of how religion works.
I can't disagree.
That kind of stopped the conversation there, didn't it? Like,
No, it's one of those. I've been trying to figure out my general thoughts on God for like an entirely long time. But I also have family members with multiple different religions. And the one that confuses me most is like the holiness religion on the mountain versus the holiness religion here in Texas. The version on the mountain, they believe they do not sin. But in everything I've read and have been taught, we sin as humans. And as for God, people keep wanting to have him pinpointed. But also they say that he's in every single plant, every single human, every single animal, insect, and everything. So pinpointing God and saying that right there is exactly what he looks like. And if we are made to look like God, apparently God looks like Kyle or you or me, depending on what mood he's in. So it's a hard thing to.
Did I explain this on another podcast? Because this sounds like something I explained on another podcast.
Not on one with me.
I don't think I've heard it.
So not on one with us. You may have, but not with us.
Okay. If we take it to the Bible says that God infused man with the Holy Spirit. And this Holy Spirit is truth. That truth is supposed to allow you to recognize God when you see it, him, her, it, whatever God chooses to be. Therefore, the essence of God, the Spirit of God, is already within us. It's not out there, it's inside. And that's what every evangelical persona, every basic Christian religion, or I suppose even in a sense, a lot of the Eastern religions as well, that's what they tell you to do. If you want to find God, you have to look inside. You have to look within you. Isn't that what they say? That he's in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
You have to open yourself up to God in order to see him or communicate with him, because he's inside you. He's not out there. And that is the Holy Spirit. It's the truth. It's God infused it within you. Therefore, if God made mankind in his own image, then it is reasonable to assume that because I am infused with the Holy Spirit, I will interpret the image of God in something that will make sense to me. And if it's within me, that means that God is my own image, that I will see God as myself, a being greater than me, but looks just like me. And if you extend that metaphor out, then that's basically saying this is what you can aspire to be, something better than you are. And
That
to me,
reminds me
that's kind of
of
motivating.
Reminds me of a dang it, Red Dwarf episode where they are being judged by
Dude, that
themselves.
was on for like 15 years. I think I only made it like through the first season. I don't know whatever happened in the later episodes.
I've made it through all 10 seasons. But
Okay.
generally, let's get back to the original ideas of the podcast, because straying too far in religion is hard. Very hard, because, yeah.
Everything's
What?
hard.
Okay, do you have a favorite place where you go visit loved ones? Like, do you have a favorite cemetery that either loved ones or just to walk through? Because I know you've written about cemeteries.
No, not really. I've moved around a lot in my life. I wouldn't have any freaking clue where any of my loved ones or relatives are actually buried at this point. So I can't
First time you
necessarily say I
walk
have a
through a
favorite spot.
cemetery,
I like cemeteries in general, and the last time I walked through one was actually during haunt season. One of my fellow haunters, a lady named Marla, she lives fairly close to a cemetery, and it's at the top of this large hill down in Chillicothe. And standing up there, you can basically see over the rest of the town, and it's very cool, and it's a very old cemetery too. So it has a lot of the old Gothic style headstones, and they all look kind of ramshackle and run down and corroded by time. So it's a very cool looking cemetery. Which I mean, I wouldn't mind walking it at night just because I think it would be a cool experience. But I hardly ever get a chance to walk cemeteries at night, and especially here in Ohio, I don't know if that's a good idea anyway.
Every cemetery I've seen says that you're permitted in from dawn till dusk, and then you cannot be in there from dusk to dawn.
Yeah,
that didn't stop me as a teenager.
Well, no, of course not. Yeah. I'm just saying, legally, every cemetery I've came across.
Dealers and kids breaking, their curfews, and
I may have broke curfews, but I didn't break in because there was not a gate.
Well, that's why they put fences around cemeteries. People are just dying to get in.
I don't know. I've only had that in Catholic once. There's not too many cemeteries I go to that really have gates. The only gates that they have is just to show where a border is.
That is not what I want to do. Hide.
Oh, don't know what that was.
I know exactly what it is, and how many times they put it in there. I don't understand anything they've said.
I had one wonderful experience in a cemetery, and I think just because it was kind of esoteric to me. One of my favorite bands is Savatage, which started in Tampa, Florida, back in the early '80s. and the lead guitarist for Sabotage, his name was Chris Oliva. I saw Sabotage in 1992, 1993, somewhere around there. Uh, in September, I believe. And then one of my friends that I had gone to the concert with told me like a month later that Chris Oliva, the lead guitarist of Sabotage, was killed in an auto accident outside Tampa going to some award show. I was, it kind of hit me at the time because I was a big Sabotage fan anyway. But I was living in North Carolina, so I'm far removed from it. But just as a fan, as kind of like, oh man, how's this going to change the band? They're going to stay together. They're going to find a new guitarist. And Chris's brother John Oliva, the founder of Sabotage, is also the lead singer and a premier songwriter and all of that, and also one of the brains behind Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So after I graduated college, I ended up moving down to Tampa, and Leia and her mother, Kathy, one of the marketing people for Sabotage. And she was close friends with all of the band, did a lot of their PR work and stuff like that, created posters and things. And through Leia, I met all of the band members. I saw Sabotage in concert several more times. Basically had a really good time with them. And Leia took me to the cemetery where Chris Oliva was buried. And I got to see his gravestone and just kind of sit there and, muse and like remember all of the times that I got to see Sabotage, because, I did get to see Chris perform while he was alive, the month before he died. And so it's just kind of this surreal experience. Yeah, and then going and seeing his gravestone where he's buried in the Tampa cemetery. And I don't know, it sort of brought everything around full circle, I think, being one of my all-time favorite bands, and then just like being that close and getting to know the people in the band, and then having that experience, it kind of adds a new dimension to being a fan of the band altogether.
Being able to go to their gravestone.
Yeah. It's just a surreal experience. It was very memorable. Yeah. And, I'm glad that I had that experience.
That is kind of cool. What about you, Kyle? Do you have cemeteries where you like to just go and hang out or walk?
My daughter likes to go visit Grandma and Grandpa and the two uncles. One cool one is the one I was talking about earlier, where it has got one of the soldiers from the Revolutionary War, like that one. There's a giant one in Sydney that actually taught me a lesson, and it's called Graceland. I like going to Graceland. In the back of Graceland is a trail that takes you down the old feeder canal for the Great Miami Erie Canal here in Ohio. But Graceland taught me that cemeteries ain't just for the dead. There's a lot of life in a cemetery. And I didn't realize this until I watched a funeral procession go into Graceland. And when I looked at it and I really paid attention to everything, it showed me how much there is love, how much there is all these different feelings. I mean, you can go up to a tombstone. You're not going to exactly find your friend there waiting on you, but you can
No.
find the remembrance marker. And that is something that can bring out the best emotions. Why did you leave me? I love you so much. Man, do you remember this time that we did this? And hey, I wish you were here. I could tell you another joke. And there is truly so much life. I got to witness a woman and her child sitting on a blanket that was in front of a grave that was still pretty fresh. And the child was just going up to the tombstone, and the tombstone just got placed there, and it just brought out a lot of emotions, and she was upset, but she was glad that her child was there with the tombstone. So I can assume that it's the father or a loved one, but you don't know unless you absolutely ask. And cemeteries are also that place where you don't ask a whole bunch of questions unless you ask the right people on the questions. Like, who was this person? Some people, well, it's none of your business. And other people, well, this person absolutely was this person. They did this. They did this. I do think that there is a site on the internet that you can actually type in what the name of the person you're looking for is in a block, and it'll tell you where in the cemetery they are. I don't know what I remember seeing it. I just can't remember where it is.
Well, a lot of cemeteries have that function,
which it makes it great.
I know Greenwood has like a map they give you.
You can also use it as a tool to trace your lineage back if you know what you're doing, because a lot of times they'll have like the parent's name of the person on the gravestone, and then you just keep tracing back and back until you go as far as you can.
On the back of my grandparents' tombstone, it has the name of the children. And I sent Jenny a picture of that, and I said, this is my uncle, this is my uncle, this is my aunt, this is my mom, this is my other uncle. And it's nice when they have references on the back of tombstones that tells you a little bit.
Yes.
Pictures are another one on the tombstones I like, because these pictures are the ones that kind of tell you about the person. There's a person on TikTok that goes through and he finds different pictures of tombstones, and he finds the funniest ones. On the back of this one, on the front, it says the lovely grandmother's name, and at the bottom it says how she'll take her recipe for her family's cookies to the grave. And on the back, it is the actual recipe for the cookies. They made sure that they shared that recipe with everybody because Grandma couldn't anymore. So, it's when you're doing stuff like this, there's a lot of different ways to express yourself on grave markers. I'm still to this day very, very glad that we honor military by placing markers around their graves during the summer months to let everybody know that these were people that served in the military. Boy Scouts in... Huh?
Cemeteries are mostly for the living, the dead.
Yes, they are.
But
oh yeah, absolutely.
it helps the living to have some sort of closure and a place where they can go to feel like they're close to that person's memory. Other people who are more pragmatic would say that cemeteries are a waste of space and that land could be better used for other purposes. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is, Jenny, you got another friend on there.
Of course, I got another friend.
Anyway, my thought is that
damn it, not again.
He's back.
I don't
and
know.
I blocked him.
Yeah, you did. You
got
just
a spammer?
created another one. Oh yeah.
You spammer.
Writing in Japanese or that's not Japanese. Anyway.
I'm on like an English tablet, so I can't actually see it.
That's okay. Thing is,
she'll get rid of it. This is kind of interesting.
How many? This is a game we're playing because I blocked this person multiple this name 4 times now.
Oh well, you know what? At least we're awesome here, and we look at the comments and we care about the comments, and we want to make sure that proper comments are posted on here, and we don't accidentally let somebody in that is showing a mystery show, like my dear friend Maximus Christian Bryant accidentally did during one of the video haunt meetings. That was very interesting. But the way I believe that I think cemeteries should be markers. I feel that you look at it and you say it's a waste of space or a waste of land. I do not agree. Because,
I think that. I said some people will look at it and think that.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, hey, I know that one.
Yes, I'm not sure which one of these. I just downloaded it because
there's Grandma and Grandpa right there. That's Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah, there's Uncle Stephen and there's Uncle Jody. And in the background is Sunrise Cooperative.
Yeah. Okay, I uploaded this one twice. And then, this one, it's like the 2 little markers in front of me.
Yep.
These people, the one to the right side, no, that side, this way, the one to that side, that is
on underground.
Yeah. So either way, he was married, but he was so in love with the woman on the other side of him, like so deeply in love, but they wouldn't let him divorce his wife. They wouldn't let him get married. And it's like one of those interesting dramas that you find in your family when you go to a cemetery.
Right.
Like these people get visited by people all over the country and sometimes all over the world in Savannah by people who have no idea who any of them are.
Right.
But people come all around just to see the one cemetery in Savannah. It is. It all depends on the person. For me, it makes my family happy to have a place to be buried so that God can come back and get their body. But in all actuality, it's just a place for the loved ones to go sit down and cry and talk with them and whatever, because it makes them comforted to have a place to be buried.
Can you bring up my grandparents back up?
Yeah.
So right there is both my grandparents, and off to the right here is the bench. The bench is a few more plots and spaces that they could place people if need be. But that was pretty much stuck there and placed there because my grandmother thought that my mom had to have someplace for her to go and cry. And I know that I know that my mother has been out there, but I can't say that she's sat there and cried and this and that. I know that they decorate, and for the longest time, there was a reef out there that would always have Bakian's Trojan stuff on it for Grandpa because Grandpa loved basketball. He loved going to the games. Did any of the grandkids play? Absolutely not, but he wanted to be there. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that decorated it. And when there was a state championship, we brought one of the shirts there. But I agree. People play stuff for the living. It's not for the dead. The ones that are living they're going to be the ones that die. They get a say in what they want, but it is absolutely for the living. And my grandmother, towards the end of her life, she said, "You can do with me like a lot of people do." I said, "What's that?" And she goes, "Throw me into the landfill." And I said, number one, that's not going to happen. Number two, I don't think that does happen too much. And then she actually did some research with me. And she told me, she goes, "Now are you surprised?" Yeah, I actually am.
I'm not, but
there was a lot of people that would discard their family members into landfills. There was a big dispute about that in Canada last year. I do believe it was Canada last year. And what it was they were looking for people, and they swore up and down that they were in the landfill, and they did not want to shut the landfill down to do a grid search. I don't know whatever happened to that, but does that make your family feel any better? Absolutely not. Does it make you feel any better that you're just being discarded? I haven't died, so I can't tell you what goes on after death.
I have two thoughts about my body after I die. I do want to be cremated. I hope to be put in one of those little keepsake Hello Kitty urns, and I want to be put on my daughter's little cat shelf in the corner of the room. But my uncle has 3 of our family members' ashes in his closet.
Right.
So if those are your desires for after you die, and then your family says, and they don't follow any of those desires, is that what prompts a poltergeist to come back and wreak havoc on the rest of the family because, you're mad about what, them not following through with your wishes?
I don't think that
this way. I'd rather them do the cheapest thing, which is usually direct cremation. If they want to bury me, please feel free. I do wish to have a Hello Kitty tombstone.
Well,
I don't know what they're gonna do, but they'll find out when I die.
Taxidermy my ass and make me into a mannequin prop inside the haunt somewhere. That's all you got to do.
Haunt?
I don't know, whichever haunt that I was working at the time when I died.
There is a person that started a college, was on the board of the college, and his last will and testament was to always be there during the meetings. So he died. They had him taxidermied, and he sits in a box with his staff and his cane or his staff sitting there, and he is present during every meeting. No kidding. Man, he looks like the guy off of the Quaker box. It makes me want to look at it.
They have to leave me anatomically intact though, because I can't. I don't want to be separated from
Various appendages of your body.
Exactly, that too.
You don't want your girlfriend to run off with our ex to steal a appendage and keep it forever, like certain people in history? Because there's one that took the heart and that appendage and kept it in a box and took it with her everywhere.
Well, I don't want to lose it while I'm alive, so I can't imagine that my opinion would change just because I'm dead.
No, I didn't think your opinion would change. It depends on how crazy your girlfriend is when you die, or wife.
Well, so far that hasn't been an issue since I don't have one.
You don't have either? That works.
Paul's
Okay,
over there
he's laughing about something.
Yep.
Dude, I actually
Well, that works
appreciate both
for
of you.
that. Both
coming on
works
here.
for Jenny. I just
What?
sent you something.
You sent me something.
I did.
Oh boy.
Oh, it could be anything knowing this man.
Oh,
Right?
I found him. I found him.
Found him.
You
Yep.
found Waldo? Well, we already.
Oh,
we
that
already.
one. I know who
That
you're
one.
talking about.
Yep.
Uno momento, amigo.
Died 1832, but still sits in on University Hallway.
This guy, Jeremy Bentham. Bentham's Head. Oh, yes. You will find the Bentham's Head episode on Caitlin Doty's channel. She's changed it from Ask a Mortician to Caitlin Doty. She keeps changing it randomly. Okay, I have never had a problem with sloths, and I'm actually pretty darn sure I have a version of that sloth in my room. There's a heart on its stomach or chest. Yep, I have a version of that. I got it as a Mother's Day, Happy Valentine's Day Mother's thing. That year I had, right after I had the monster, the little one.
Well, can you guess what I named them?
Flash.
Nope.
What?
Gordon.
What?
Gordon.
Well,
She said Flash. I said Gordon.
No, not Gordon either.
Did you see Zootopia, Pile? Then you get the idea. Okay, what did you name him, Ron?
I did see Zootopia, and I know the sloth Flash that you're talking about. That worked at the DMV, but no. This one, I was very creative when I named him, and his name is Valentine.
So creative.
So very creative. Very, very creative. I named him Valentine.
Okay, that works.
So,
well, that's a good name.
Have you been to the cemetery? Have you been to a cemetery that has toys?
Yes.
Toys.
Yes.
What kind of toys?
As in, it could be anything. Matchbox cars, Barbie dolls, stuffed animals like the sloth.
You have a cemetery for toys?
No, we have cemetery
that has toys in it.
Have passed away, and the toys are left at their tombstones.
Yep.
They're
little kid graves.
Well, bury me with my guns on.
There was
Sounds like a plan.
So when I reach the other side, I can shoot the devil right between the eyes, or however that's.
There was one parent that got it approved through the cemetery. And oh, look, Nathaniel's on here now.
Hi, Nathaniel.
But there is actually a
Good
cemetery
evening.
that they got approved to be able to have the grave, and the kid was cremated, and they put it inside the tombstone, and he made the rest of the grave area a sandbox. That way, kids could play in the cemetery in the sandbox with his son, because that's all his son wanted to do was go play in the play in the sandbox and have kids come over and play with him. So they got okayed that they have some toys that stay there, and there's a marked area for the sandbox, and kids are allowed to play in there.
We love you too, and you're definitely invited if you wish.
Hi, Jesse. I'm sure
Not his
that
favorite.
Raz has very interesting philosophies and thoughts on death.
He's good at writing about it. So far, though, one of his monsters and Urban keep coming back to my brain. I just really liked how he did that. But anyway, back to the idea. Whatever the idea was. I just know it was insane and about death and loved ones. Okay, here's one of my most favorite things to talk about. Think about one of your closest loved ones that have died at any point in your life. What is your favorite memory with them? While you think about that, I'll tell one of mine. My mom passed away when I was 12. Her lungs gave out from COP and or COPD. Yeah, COPD. And she'd always take us to the park in town. We ran on Broke a lot. Okay, he'll be here soon. We ran on Broke a lot, but she'd find a way to make sure it's fun. Either ice cream or make a snack and go to one of the two parks that were close to each other and just play for a while or walk around town just to have something to do where we weren't cooped up in the house. And
Right.
I think I wish more than anything she could get cookies and cream, ice cream, and steal my children and go have a grandma park day like she did with us. My sister and I. I don't know. Have you met Sonia yet, Ron?
Sonny?
Sonia.
I don't know.
Sonia?
I don't
know
know.
if you've met Sonia. Okay, at some point.
It doesn't sound familiar, but sometimes I have short time memory. I mean, we
Sooner or
do
later
have
we'll
a
get
lot
her
of people in Owl Light. We have one that might be a little upset if you call 15 minutes before they close and try getting a pizza.
I want a pizza.
I do too.
We got,
and I'm not going to call
we
her
got
the...
one that is a karate master. We got one that
He's fun.
imitates everybody by being everybody when you send them a chat.
Yes.
You got the one that has every screw that is loose in their brain. You got the one that is living above me. So,
okay,
you know,
here's
we
the
got
thing.
a lot of them.
The every screw that is loose in their brain, that describes most the network.
Oh, no,
that's true.
You're saying you're the one with all the screws.
Oh, yeah,
loose.
I'm absolutely
like,
screw. I'm not a screw loose. I am more like a box that's been over threaded.
Alrighty. Okay. Did you guys come
So,
up with
Kyle,
a
are
fun
you saying
memory?
that you've been screwed way too much?
I've been screwed over way too much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Well, that's not how I phrased it, but okay, let's go with that.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a show on Netflix right now that is dealing with that is absolutely hilarious, and it has what they call one of the main characters going after another main character, and he says, "And I will fuck you," and his daughter goes, "Up, fuck you up, Dad." That's what you needed to say.
I know that has been Hotel, and that was
It's-
she was talking to Lucifer.
Yep. Lucifer's her dad, and I love that. I've watched it 3 times. My wife needs to catch up.
Oh,
I've watched every episode. There's only like 8 of them. Anyway, let's go back to the memories. I got a good memory. I just got a driver's license. My grandpa said he wanted to go fishing. If you knew my grandfather, it was work hard and then go fishing. Might have had a drink once in a while, not very often, but it was you work hard and then you go fishing. He had this Dodge Ram van. I remember this van. And he had a boat. And as soon as I got my license, he told me, okay, well, you're going to drive this van and we're going to go fishing. All right. So he took me over to Fort Laramie Lake. We went left. We went right. We went down this one road. And then we kept on going. And he gets to the end of the road and he goes, well, this ain't the road I wanted. Okay. I said, well, let me jump out and you can jump in the driver's seat and you can twist the boat around. And he goes, oh, no, you're fine. Go ahead, back it up. I've never backed up a boat in my entire life or a trailer or anything except for, just the initial vehicle. No attachments. So here it is. My wonderful my wonderful grandfather just kept on going on and on. Yep, back it up. Okay, you're getting crooked. Go forwards a little bit. Straighten out. Back it up. I told him, I said, Grandpa, there's a road there. I could turn down that road, back up, and twist it around. He goes, nope, I want you to keep on going backwards. For 1.5 miles, he made me back up this van, this trailer, and a boat. Because he wanted to teach me how to back up, but he did not want to tell me that he was teaching me. And as I am now a professional semi-driver, I say how easy it is to back a trailer around and this and that. And it all started because my grandpa wanted to teach me something, and he didn't want to tell me, hey, I'm going to teach you how to back a trailer. He made sure I just damn well did it. Does that say imagination?
Yep.
There's the guys.
What's up, guys?
Imagination.
Welcome to the chat.
I kind of opened my eyes a little bit sometime around like 8:30 p.m. and just kind of took my time getting up, then had to have a family meeting. And yeah, now I'm at my computer. So hi.
How's the family meeting?
It was good. We're making some plans for something and later, like at the end of March.
Awesome.
Okay. Pass the frog.
Oh yeah, well past that, my friend. Involved
yeah.
me having to leave somewhere for a whole weekend. So,
Awesome.
you sir, are very deserving of that, and you also need to have a chit chat with me later on about this thing.
What's something you need to do too? It's a horror hound over in Sharonville,
Kentucky.
No, Sharonville, Ohio. The big horror hound horror convention.
I guess I thought that was. Oh yeah. I guess I didn't know that one was in Ohio.
Yep.
I just don't have the dates for it.
Starts March 22nd to the 24th.
No, well, there we go.
Yep. Apparently, we're gonna go to that. I guess.
Oh,
excited about it.
if I could play it on my
fucking
schedule,
Mick Foley's going to be there. I'm finally.
Are you serious?
I'm once and for all actually going to be able to meet like one of my only idols in life that I never got to meet. So I'm going to be Mick Foley, and there's a Blair Witch Project reunion, which is one of the most influential movies to me of all time. So I'm excited about that.
Dude, I'm not a wrestling fan, but Nick Foley is and was the one for me just because he had so many different characters, from Cactus Jack to Mankind to
Dude Love.
Yeah, I mean he was and how you could attack somebody with a sock.
Yep.
But that is absolutely not what we're talking about tonight, even though we love talking. No, that's perfectly
I thought there
fine.
was a guest today.
There was a guest.
Yeah,
we did that earlier. Remember how I told you I had scheduled her earlier because of her cerebral palsy? And she asked if we could do it earlier in the day.
I was fully asleep for that one, probably. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
My days are off. My day and night schedule is shifted.
But I had like the best conversation and I learned so much.
Nice.
Yeah, I had dinner, I come home, I turned on this show I've been watching called Reacher, and next thing you know, she messaged me and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'll be in." I remember talking to you about this.
Oh yeah.
So the question was
in bed trying to fall asleep, and they kept talking in my ear and wouldn't shut up. So I came here to give a piece of my mind. And
you see, you were in bed, and I was getting out of bed. Like we were tag teaming across, man.
Kind of like me and Ron. You know, I'm downstairs, he's upstairs. He's just not here.
Yeah. Rob's not here, but yeah, you're definitely in his basement.
So the original question was one of your favorite memories about a loved one that you really enjoyed that has passed away. And Pyle was telling us his, and Ron was going to tell us about his, hopefully next.
Nice.
I was? Okay.
Ron's like, I don't remember, Sonny. Ron, you look like you're falling asleep there, buddy.
I am.
If you need to go, you can say, "Hey, I'm out."
You can tag me, brother. It's cool.
I mean,
tell us your memory and then leave.
So, Ron, how can we find you?
You can find Ron in his bed of fucking sleep.
You know, if you're lucky, I might be wearing shorts at least.
You know what?
I love that.
Actually hilarious.
Whoa. Let's talk about the fact that he just had to look down and check to make sure.
I am wearing shorts.
Wearing Rick and Morty pajama pants.
I've had relatives that on, particularly, aunts, uncles, of that nature. And, these are people that played a pivotal role in my childhood and forming some of the memories. Like we would spend Christmases at their houses and all of that. And that's fine. But there's really only one person that I was close to that I try to still honor his memory. And that's my friend Chad Hartley from high school. Chad was a year behind me. His mother was the Spanish teacher at the high school, one of the Spanish teachers. We had like three of them. His mother was one of the Spanish teachers at the high school. And so I had her when I took Spanish. But since Chad and I were a year apart, we were never actually in the same class. But he played guitar. His father played guitar with people like Doc Watson, Ernest Scruggs, Merle Haggard, just a lot of the bluegrass and country players that were popular and fairly well known at the time. There was a place. It was called Hilltop Vacuum. It was owned by a guy named Jim, and he fixed vacuum cleaners and all of that. But then in the after hours, when the store would close, they would have band practice, and all of these bluegrass musicians would show up like duck. Why am I hearing stuff? What was that?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It was weird.
Is the voice starting again for you?
It
No,
could
I
be.
heard the voice too.
Yeah, I heard it too. I'm not sure what it came from.
So it must have been me. Sorry.
So, and Chad's father was one of these people that would play music and all of that. So of course Chad played guitar, and I was just starting to learn how to play guitar at the time. And I think this is kind of what brought us together. And I would spend the night over at his house, and we'd have jam sessions till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff. And Chad was just a really good friend of mine. I always expected that he would go on and do big things and probably have some kind of claim to fame with music, something like that. But then one day he started having a seizure in class and had to be taken to the hospital. And they diagnosed him that he had a brain aneurysm. And it's what had caused his seizure. And it had been growing for some time, unbeknownst to everybody else. And this just kind of, it changed things. So they did operate on it. They had to shave his head and all of that, and they tried to operate on it. But I don't know if it ever really quite went away completely. He did eventually graduate from high school, and by that time I had already started college. I was a freshman in college. And I think Chad knew that his time was limited, that his days were numbered. He had a number of projects that he had started, and he wanted to finish them. Goodbye. All right. And he wanted to finish these projects before he passed. And one of which was he actually did get to play with Merle Haggard on stage at it was Cherokee Days, I think, at one of the Indian festivals that they had in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And play a big bluegrass festival and all that kind of stuff. And he was playing a washtub bass. And that, I think, was the last time I actually saw him alive. I was doing freelance reporting for one of the newspapers at the time, and I took a picture of him for the article that I was writing, and it got published in the paper. And then one day I'm sitting in creative writing class, and my friend Darren Thompson, Darren Lasley, he called me right before class and said that Chad had passed away. And it just sort of, I don't know, I think I went into shock. Like I said, I just kind of shut down. Like, we knew it was coming, but then you get the news, Yeah, and I'm like,
right.
I can't really deal with this right now. I got to go to class. And I did. I went to class, and I'm sitting there, and just sitting in class. And of course, that's when like the floodgates want to open. That's when it all wants to start come rushing out. When I'm sitting in class, I can't do anything about it. So I got up, I ran out of the classroom, and I went back to my dorm room, and I called my mom, and I think I just cried for like 3 hours straight, And then they had arranged the funeral service and all of that, and I did not want to go to the funeral because I didn't know if I would be able to handle it. And everybody says, Ron, you have to go to the funeral. You have to go to the funeral. You'll regret it if you don't. So I did. I went to the funeral, and fortunately, it was a closed casket, so I didn't have to see him. But his mom was there, his dad was there, and all that, and he had a pretty good turnout. It was very nice. But it was basically just like this sense of catharsis, being there with all of my friends that, we were all in high school. We all knew Chad. We all hung out together. We all played in a band. Me and Darren and a couple of other guys that uh, we played music with as well. And just kind of like joking and laughing amongst ourselves and remembering Chad. And it felt good, to be able to do that. And I felt a lot better after the fact. But I always said that for as long as I could, I would try to remember Chad by continuing to play music. I probably could have stopped at any given time, but I felt like continuing to play music is something that Chad would have wanted me to do regardless. So now it's just like, I play music for myself, but it's always kind of in remembrance of Chad. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful. To continue doing it in his memory, but also to still have the want to do it for you.
Well, this was back in 1990, and Chad had written a song. We were very, 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 very much fans of Pink Floyd at the time, and of course, The Wall and The Final Cut was like two of our favorite albums, and Relics. I must have like binged those albums more than I think any other albums in history, really. And Chad wrote a song that was very, very Pink Floyd inspired. It was called "Communist Pig," and it was kind of a punk rock type song. And he always wanted to record it, and he made a very rough demo of it before he died. And I got to hear it once, and I really, really wish that I had a copy of that recording now. Because with the equipment that I have and the knowledge that I have now from playing for so long, I really think I could actually make that into a decent song if I had it. But it's one of those things that's been lost to time, and I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore. But I feel like that would be like the greatest homage to Chad would be to try to put out "Communist Pig" as an actual single. But I doubt it's ever going to happen. God knows whatever happened to the recording.
Maybe one day it'll just pop up out of nowhere and somebody will send it to you.
Well, if you're watching this podcast and you remember Chad, then send me the recording.
That would be great.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So that's my memory.
That is a very wonderful memory. Do you have one, Raz?
Here's the thing, man. I grew up in a
Okay.
shithole. I read a lot about Riverside. I talked about how horrific it is and crazy. The truth is, Riverside sucks, man. You don't want to grow up there. It's a lot nicer now than it was when I was a kid. A big part of Riverside, the section I grew up in, the section I write most often about, we call the dead zone for a reason. Just about everybody I grew up with is dead. Most of the people that I've known that aren't from Riverside, that are from my life in film, music, everything else, most of them are dead. Most of the people that I've ever loved and cared about in my life are all dead. And usually you're in your 70s or 80s when this happens to you, and everybody's starting to die off. But where I'm from, it starts happening in your teens, and it just gets worse every day. Literally, there's not a week that goes by sometimes. Like, shit. Two people that I've known, like, fairly well, but lost contact with over the years have died just in the last week. So there's a lot of people I always try and remember, and with my brain damage and memories the way they are, and me not knowing I know something unless a memory triggers it, I use writing to trigger my memories about everyone every day. And it's one of the reasons why when I say I don't go back and read what I write, like once it's published, I don't. Because if I do, I'll spend that entire time getting memory dump after memory dump after memory dump. Because my way to remember all the people that I've loved and lost is to turn them into characters. And that's what I've been doing my whole life before I became a professional writer, and just even writing songs, a lot of my favorite memories are probably going to be about my brother. And I call him my brother, but it's he was never actually legally my brother. We had paperwork where we had custody of him for periods of time, but really I met him on my second birthday, and we lived together for long periods of times as adults, as children, as we were confidants. We were, the first band I was ever in and the last band I was ever in was him. Where Ron keeps playing music to remember, I stopped playing music because playing music without him doesn't feel like music to me anymore. I spent so much of my time just doing music with him. And even a period about a little less than 10 years that he was gone in the military, and we talked a little bit here and there, and he would come back home and visit. That's when I toured with the band. And it was the biggest band that I was ever in that didn't have him in it. And every time something awesome would happen for Freak, I'd write him, or I'd call him, or I'd be like, hey, man, or he'd come back to town and I'd tell him about it. I was like, but I looked over and you weren't there. So he was my music, man, like for sure. I've told a lot of stories about him, man. We used to pretend we were deaf or blind or dumb, and we would go into restaurants and just play this whole act out, like where I would ask if they had a Braille menu. He would but I can't hear what they're saying, man. What's the order? Like we would just con people and fuck people up, just with comedy, just routines and acts. And every time we went into public, it was, hey, who do we want to be today? Who do you want to pretend we are, just to get a laugh out of everybody, to screw up, everybody, like classes, whatever it was, it didn't matter. It could be school, it could be a job. We had the same job a couple times together. We would go in and fuck with people. Like our whole shtick was literally, what can we do today? That's it. Some days that was paranormal investigation. That's what we did. Some days it was pretend to play a character in public. Some days it was, we're going to jam for the entire weekend and only stop when we have to, shit, or if we pass out or to eat or whatever. But, we could still play and do stuff while we ate. Sometimes we'd game. We'd play RPGs like Earth Dawn, Dungeons and Dragons. My first campaign I ever did, the first million campaigns of any gaming I ever did, he was there. So much of my life is just the good and the bad, is just stuff we did together. Even when he was gone, it still felt like he was there, when he was overseas or in another state there for a while too. But then after he passed, I haven't finished unpacking my office where I'm at now, but like I usually keep his picture like up near where I'm writing, because it makes me, and that's probably why I've not been writing so well in the last 2 years, to be honest with you. I haven't had his picture up, but I need to get that up actually. It's just hard to pick a memory, like when you lose so many people starting from in terrible ways too. Like I'm not talking about people got older and passed away because I'm in my 80s. I'm talking suicides, tons. Cannot tell you how many drug overdoses, more drug overdoses than anything else. It's just, when your whole life is tragedy and loss, these people become a part of you and a part of who you are and what you do and how you act and how you think. It's like Nightmare on Elm Street. Technically, that would have been 4. Started in 3 with Dream Warrior, but in 4, where she starts absorbing things and absorbing her friends. Like that's how I've kind of felt like ever since I saw that movie as a child. Because even that young, when that movie came out and I saw it as a child on video, because I didn't see it in the theaters, I was like, oh my god, that's what it's like. Because even at that point, I'd already lost so many people around me that it was like I feel like I'm an amalgam. I'm just a collection of everything I've ever lost. So, I mean, I know it kind of sounds weird and depressing, but it's not to me.
No?
To me, it's I survived, and every year that I get a year older is the year that I survived the Curse of Riverside. So it's just a thing, man. It's a thing that some of us, very few of us, know about and talk about, because it doesn't just extend to, if you're from Riverside, it extends to the people that aren't from Riverside. It's this curse that everyone that has ever lived there kind of passes on to everything they meet, and everyone like the infection. Kind of what it feels like.
Ron looks like he's about ready to pass out and have his tablet hit him in the face. Kind of like that, but with more force.
All he has to do is let us know when he's ready.
Yeah, you can go anytime, man. But yeah, death is it's different for me. It's not, yeah, you're sad when you lose people, but like you're gonna lose everybody. When you know that when you're super young, it changes the kind of person you become later in life. Where you so that person's dead. Well, I love you. You'll always be here. Next, on to the next thing.
One thing I will say, and I don't know if everybody feels this way, but I hate having the philosophy of, man, if I would have had 5 more minutes with that person or 1 more day and this and that. Because honestly, if I had 1 more day, I would not do a single thing different. Because
know
I
anyway.
don't know, the next day is gone.
Yeah.
So,
I tend to celebrate death rather than mourn it because, like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, Raz, you know this. I actually had a friend that his wife passed away. And it's terrible. It really is. He's been messaging, just saying, I woke up this morning and looked over there, and you're not there. It's a whole process.
Yeah.
It's not so much, if I had 1 more day. It's not really about that. I think that it's you realizing how much that person actually meant to you. It's not just 1 more day. Why wish for 1 more day when you could just wish for several more years? It's like you can't have either.
It's more time in general, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more time in general because you're actually starting to realize how much that person meant to you. And that's why now you want more time, and that you regret the time that you didn't spend with the person while they were still here. For me, and this is kind of case in point, is my karate instructor. And I just made a post about this on Facebook recently because of the events that happened at the seminar down in Missouri that we just did this past weekend. And Nathan Sensei, 6th degree, promoted us to 4th degree, Yandan, and bestowed upon us the title of Renshi, which means polished instructor. And 4th degree, I suppose that it probably, I don't want to say always would have happened, but there was more of a likely possibility that it was going to happen eventually, just because I dedicate myself to the martial arts. But having a title bestowed upon you when you are not expecting a title to be bestowed upon you, or let alone thinking you've done anything to deserve a title being bestowed upon you, that's recognition for a lot of years of hard work. And yeah, I'm proud of getting the 4th degree, but I don't know, man, that title, it blows my mind that somebody would recognize me for a title like that, but my instructor, Sensei Bullard, he passed away back in 2017. And I did get a chance to see him in July of 2017 before he passed away, and he had promoted me to 3rd degree. It was like one of the last acts I think that he was capable of doing as an instructor. And, that made me very happy because he still recognized me and knew me by name, even though he was suffering from basically brain cancer. And so now, when I started thinking about this, it made me wonder, what would Sensei Bullard think about me being promoted to 4th degree or being given the Renshi title? Would I have his blessing for it? It would mean a lot to me if I could get his blessing for it. And now knowing that's never going to happen. So again, getting back to that whole faith thing, I have to take it on faith that I do believe that Sensei Bullard would be all for it, that he would give his blessing on the 4th degree and the Renshi title, just because, me personally, I think that I try to commit myself to the martial arts and further my own training and my own education, even though I'm on my own now and I don't have my instructor around for guidance. I can't ask him questions anymore. And I started to realize after his passing how much more he had left to teach me. So for me, it's like, I wish I had more time. Now I wish I could ask him all of those things that I should have asked him a long time ago.
I know that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had asked Mom all those things.
So after one more day, it's if you're going to ask one day, why not just ask several more years? It's more about you start to realize how much that person actually meant to you.
Yeah. The thing is, man, from the second all life on our planet and all life anywhere exists, we're going to die. We're all going to die. Everything and everyone we know is going to die. Our way of life is going to die a million times as we go and learn new things and change our thought processes. Pieces of us die every single day. And that's life is death, man. Everybody wants to know, what's the meaning of life? It's to die. But it's not a negative thing, because when you die, energy just doesn't stop moving. Whatever atoms or particles make up your body don't just stop. They become a part of other things. And in some way, you do go on. You do continue. Maybe there's afterlives. Maybe there's not. Do what?
Were you listening to the podcast earlier, or did you just now come on?
No, I just now came on. Like when I popped in was the first time I heard anything when I said hi.
So you didn't hear any of my spiel from earlier?
No. But I mean, that's what life is. It's we
Interesting.
That's just what I've always believed in.
Like I said earlier, when me and Friday was on here, there was 2 days. 2 days that your life will not make 24 hours. It is the time you were born and the time you die.
Yeah.
And like I tell my son, and I've told him from a very young age, and my daughter's starting to understand where I'm coming from when I say it. From the time that you took your first breath, you are doomed to take your last.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand that. So don't take it as a, hey, you got a life. I want you to take it as a gift, because that's why they call it the present. You don't know what you're going to get into. You don't know who you're going to meet. Braz, let's say 5 years ago, I would have never dreamed that I would be as far as I am in this industry of haunting, for me to meet such a great person like you or Ron. Yeah. And then through this, I was able to meet a wonderful person named Friday, which loved tombstones and death as much as I do. And we can actually make a podcast about it, talking about it, letting people know, hey, we are the people that kind of look at you and say, we understand, and don't be afraid to talk about it with us. I mean, in the comments, we would love to have you talk about your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as this show goes on, that's the way I'm understanding this show will be. Talking about death, talking about tombstones, talking about good old memories, talking about some of the things. My grandfather died of lung cancer. Do I wish I had 5 more minutes with him?
You want to hear something hilarious? My grandpa on my dad's side, in his 80s, late 80s, almost 90, died of an STD he got from a 30-something-year-old. And I think that is the funniest fucking thing ever, because that means my grandpa was having sex in his 80s, and fuck yeah, man, he went out. He went out.
Dang.
Yeah.
So
Grandma had been passed for decades, by the way. Like, she had been gone for for a long time. So it's not like there was anything weird or it was recent. It was a long time. And she started taking care of him, and he spent a lot of his money that he was supposed to leave to other family members. He spent it, and he went and lived his life there at the end, man, and died from that. And I'm just like, man, you shouldn't have left a penny behind for any of us. Like, you can't take it with you, man. Just spend it all. Like, blow it out. Like, if you know you're going.
Oh, he was blowing all right.
Yeah,
he was blowing.
Oh, yeah, he was going. But no, like, it cracks me up that that's what he died of at his age. And
went out with a bang.
That's part of the reason why. A big part of the reason why I'm a giant. Well, I don't have contact with my dad's side of the family at all. Like, literally at all. Honestly, I don't have contact with any of my family. My blood family right now in this moment. I cannot tell you the last time I spoke to someone in any of my family. It's been a long time. Months. Many months. But like, they stopped talking. A lot of them stopped talking to me then because I said that out loud. Like, in front of everyone. I was like, fuck yeah. It was at the funeral. I was like, fuck yeah. And they were very upset about that. And I'm like, why? You guys clearly don't have the same understanding of death that I have, and that doesn't make me a bad person.
No.
We should be celebrating. Funerals are not for the dead. They're for the living.
So I
feel
want
better
you
about
guys
themselves and better about their loss. Funerals, that's it. What we should be doing is having a party of remembrance, saying, hey, these fuckers lived their lives. They did everything they could with the time they had, and now they get to rest. And that is beautiful, and that is amazing. And that's how I see the whole process. When I die, don't be sad. Be happy that I lived a life that most people wouldn't live in multiple lifetimes.
Like what I told all my family members. As soon as I pass away, get a semi-trailer, fill it full of skids, go to a field, and make sure you cut that grass down short, and then have just one giant circle of dirt. Put all those skids there. I don't care. See how high you can stack them. Put a decent amount there. Put them there, and have a celebrational bonfire. And if you guys want to crack some jokes at me and this and that, you want to do this and that, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
If you want to make some roasted weenies and say these are his fingers, who wants to come again? Whatever. I want you guys to celebrate that you guys had the wonderful honor of knowing me, which knowing me is not an honor at all.
Sure it is.
Yes, it is.
I actually got chastised from a former group of people I used to spend time with before this, because I said that, hey, man, I'm tired. I'm literally in life. I'm exhausted. I'm fucking tired. Wow.
I did not realize that was on. Sorry.
They were upset because I told them, I was like, I'm ready to go anytime. I'm not trying to die. I'm not suicidal. I'm just ready to go. And when it happens, I'm going to meet it with open arms and I'm going to be happy about it. And they're like, oh, well, that's terrible. Like, should you be on suicide watch? Should we be worried about you? I think there's something wrong with you because you think like this. And I'm like, dude. And I listed everything I'd ever done in my life in a conversation. They were like, whoa. I'm like, yeah. Why? What am I leaving on the table at this point?
My mother-in-law said the same thing. She's ready to go. When it's time, she's ready to go.
I invent new things to leave on the table just so I have something to do. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I get a crazy idea that I want to do something. I go and do it. To some degree, I go and do that thing, and then I have to make up a new thing just to have something to do that I haven't done before.
So, if at any point, and when I go to my next doctor's appointment, I'm bringing this up to Allie, because I'm going to bring her up right now. Allie, if you're ever watching this, I want you to know I'm okay. I am not suicidal when I tell you I'm going to die. I have no idea how I'm going to die, but damn it, it's going to come my way. And when it does, telling me that hamburger is going to kill me is on the same plane as telling me that bus is going to kill me. I don't know which one's going to kill me. Something's going to do it. It comes down to quality of life for me.
I hear about it from this all the time. You guys know how much
my doctor,
your coffin nail.
My nurse, my doctor, my nurse practitioner always talks to me about this and that. And the first time they met me and actually had a conversation with me, they realized that death is not a concern to me. But they did not warn the junior nurse in training. So when she went and she got my vitals and was talking to me about what the problems was, the nurse did not get a chance to stop and tell her that this person in this room, in room 1, was a little different. So when this woman starts talking to me and asking me questions and this and that, I gave her exactly what I gave everybody else. Mm-hmm. And she walked out and looked at my nurse practitioner and said,
"We've talked about this before. I did the same thing.
I think that you need to possibly
please stop,
do
Ron.
a psych test with him.
Don't make me throw up on screen because you will.
Are you making Blair Witch 3 over there?
No, I think he is trying to do what your grandpa died from. But anyway.
Woo! Damn.
I want to point out that man smoked cigarettes even when the nicotine was like worse in his age than it is these days, for about almost 8 decades. Smoked just as much as I do, if not more. Never once did he have a problem with his fucking lungs. And now obviously that's not what he died from. So. Right. But I wanna just say they never warned that learning nurse. So when she come out and she was like, I think y'all need to like do a psych evaluation of him and, you know, possibly send him to go get mental health. Right.
And the nurse practitioner said, who do we have in that room? And here comes Allie. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Oh, by the way.
And she goes, he's not suicidal. He's just an equal opportunity liver.
Yeah.
He will live. And once he dies, he dies. He does not want to do... It's not a do not resuscitate I'm worried about. It's a do not resuscitate twice. If my body ain't up and kicking the first time, just let it go the second time.
Yeah.
That being said, we don't shove a damn tube down my throat and say, hey, we're going to keep his brain going. That's just not going to work for me.
Wake up, Paul. You're not allowed to die yet.
Dude, my friend died of cancer. She was really young, like 20 years old.
Right.
About a little bit older than I am. Well, was. And I had told my boss I need the date off a week from then to go to the funeral. And he looks at me and says, has she died yet? And I'm like, yes, she has. She's being cremated. But the idea of being asked, has she died yet, was just kind of hilarious.
I think one of my biggest regrets will be that after I die, I will not be around at the funeral or the wake to hear all of the stories and all of the memories that people have of me, just so I can say they're full of shit. That never happened, or
prank everybody,
or I want to know what people are going to say about me after I die. Like, God, that Ron was an asshole. I hated that guy. Dick.
What's the number one thing that a lot of people ask morticians? Do they have socks on?
Oh yeah.
And do they have shoes on?
Yep.
I don't want
Who
socks.
wants to go
I don't
sleeping
want shoes,
in
I don't
shoes?
want a bra.
I want socks on, but I'm weird.
Yeah,
I don't want a bra.
I feel like my feet would get cold, so yeah,
Yeah.
There was a guy over in Europe. He knew he was going to die. He was super sick, and he recorded a message. And this message was played on a Bluetooth speaker that was in his casket. So when they lowered him into the vault, the guy pressed a button, and you could hear, "Hello, hello, I can hear you, people. What's going on? Can you help me out?" And it went on and on. It spoke about people because he knew what people would do. And he's like, why are you looking down here? Please, just come down here and come get me. Help. a little assistance here. And then he made a comment about the one person. He goes, I bet you're standing right beside Jenny, aren't you? You need to come down here. And he was like, whoa. But you know what? That was a man that had a great sense of humor, knew he was going to die, and was not afraid to take it.
Oh, yeah.
And not only did he live in his life, he lived through his death, making memories and people taking videos of him with this recording.
That is
epic, and it
man.
was posted over and over and over, and it just brings so many wonderful things. Honestly, if I knew I was going to die, let's record something. You can stick it in the urn.
I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm dead. Well, what can I say except wish you were here?
Ooh. I want like this, like anyone that's alive, that's a storyteller, that likes telling stories, that knows me, to all gather in one place. And I'm going to do a preparation ahead of time. I got really obsessed with this concept. There's a Marvel project. There's a Marvel project on Disney Plus called Werewolf by Night. And in the beginning, the grand hunter of the paranormal things has died. They wheel out his casket, and this little panel opens, and he starts talking to everyone. It's like a projection of who he is or who he was. And I figured out how to do this with a coffin and a projector, because I was going to do it at the Han. I just ended up not doing it. Where I can literally like just pre-record all my favorite stories that I tell people, and just have it project as if I'm talking, like, but just, you know, the window slides down the casket, and it's just, I'm actually in the casket, but you know, it's a recording of me playing, and just be put in this area outside of the bonfire, and everybody just talks for days, like a festival. And there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's storytelling, there's fires, there's food, there's everything for like 3 days. And then at the very end of it, they build the bonfire bigger, and they just my casket on it, and that's it. And that's it. And they keep telling stories until there's nothing left.
Are you trying to make a gathering?
Pretend that we're dead.
So I told Josh that after I die, if he gets a new wife or a lover or whatever, I'm going to come haunt him, and I'm going to wet willy her at random times in the middle of the night every so often, just to mess with her.
That is epic. I like that.
I told a lot of people I was going to get tikis, little tiki statues, and I was going to take vials of me. Honestly, these vials, and I was going to put my ashes in it and stick it into tikis. Yeah. And then April was to distribute them, give them out to people. You would not know if you had one that had a vial in it without opening it, or you didn't have one. And I looked at one of my buddies, and he goes, just so you know, I would accept one. But if I put it in my bedroom, I'm turning it around because I don't want you to watch what I do to who comes in my room. And I said, you know what, McLovin, I'm good with that. But I'm just going to tell you, if I start making noises in the middle of the night, that's all on you.
Put a speaker in it.
So my mother-in-law was getting checked at the gate before she came on the island from the boat when she took a cruise a few years ago. And the guy had never actually seen a keepsake urn. He's like, what is this? This is my husband. It's just his ashes. He's like, okay. And he literally just drops it back in his in her bag. And she's drunk. So she told him that he dropped him on his head and walks off in a huff.
That's epic.
That's smart.
Guys, that was one thing that we forgot to do for the Valentine's Day.
What?
I forgot these, so I could not fill them up, and people could not get Grandpa to take home with them.
I still want you to wrap Grandpa up, a little vial of Grandpa in my pullover when you send it. And
you got one here.
Yay.
I've got them. I have a short time memory on things sometimes.
Hey,
we never have problems.
People want to come say hi. Hold on. And since it's my show, they want to say hi to you guys. Come here, Dante. I don't normally do this, but he's like, I'm going to tell them good night. So. Okay, Dante. Now you can tell them good night.
The show, talked about that. stuff.
Hi, Dante.
And see, Ron,
Hi,
this
Dante.
is Dante. He's not a weird guy from a movie. Isn't he adorable?
Yes, I'm adorable. Thank you.
Adorable, but isn't he? I love you,
Sure.
Dante. Good night.
Apparently there's a Sophie out here.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Come here, Soapy. This thing. You have to bend down to that. There we go.
Hey, Sophie.
Hi.
Hey.
My name is Grandpa Tall, so
Yeah, you just blended in. Good night,
She's
baby.
invisible.
Yes, she blended in. The best thing about the backgrounds on here, if you set a certain way, you can blend into the background.
Yep, that's
It's
true.
like the Homer Simpson disappearing into the bushes.
Exactly.
Well, peeps, I'm going to call it a night and go pretend that I'm dead, laying in bed. And
Where do you want us to find you?
Helping my sleep.
Not this close to the camera. That's scary. But I suppose
Crikey,
I
look at that.
want to settle it.
Well,
Here.
my goal is not to
Nope.
come crawl into bed with you. So
So,
Is that better?
yeah,
Yes.
when you turn off the lights, look up. You're going to see a message above you that just says, I'm under the bed, and you'll know it's me.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Like idle hand style, man.
Right. So yeah, hi ladies and gentlemen, Ron here. You can find me on my author page on Facebook, Ronald W. Gillespie Jr. Go buy my book. I really, 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 really need you to go buy my book. It's called Inside My Nightmares, and all of the stories came from this beautiful bald noggin right here. I mean, it wasn't always bald when I wrote the stories. I think that's just what happens as, a side effect of actually writing is, losing your hair or pulling it out and whatnot.
That's what happens. You're losing yours, but mine's getting longer when I write. And I knew there had to be a trade-off here somewhere.
Yeah, I know, right? You can also find me here on YouTube under Wolf Dojo, where I do martial arts content, although I don't upload to YouTube as often as I should. You can find me more on TikTok, also under Wolf Dojo, and I'm a little bit more prolific. I will be probably putting up some new videos within the next couple of days based on the martial arts seminar that I just got back from in West Plains, Missouri. I'm working with the International Neoclassical Karate and Kabuto Society, aka INKS, INKKS, to program, organize, schedule a lot of different webinars over the upcoming year, and one of which I will be teaching, although I don't know when it's going to be yet. It'll be on sparring concepts and strategies. I'm looking forward to that. And other than that, you can find me here on Owlite whenever I have the time to pop in, usually Sunday nights and Monday nights. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm tired of looking at myself now. So here, look at the sloth instead. The sloth is much better.
Like, get the
Good
fuck out. I'm joking.
James.
There he is.
Bye.
See you later.
My big, bald, beautiful head.
Roll
Yes,
that beautiful bald footage.
And go buy my book.
I did.
I know you did, and Pyle still needs to. He
I
hasn't
will at
bought
some
it yet.
point when I have money for things.
Right, I hear you.
But I definitely will.
Go buy my book.
I'm waiting for you to read it on one of these things.
The whole book?
I can't read the whole book.
want him.
Story.
I mean like on Audible or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I would love for it to
That
be
way-
on Audible.
That way I could be like falling to sleep to the sounds of Run.
You know,
Sure.
it's funny that you
His,
mentioned that because
Story.
I'm finishing up working on some things and getting my little studio sort of like sorted out on how to do audiobooks. And I've gotten these programs that I need that are recommended from Audible specifically to
Right.
in order to record and do your own audiobooks. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And as soon as I have a space that's a little bit more conducive than this basement to do it, or like a space that I can go to for a while or whatever, like a little studio or something, I'll know how to actually do that. So maybe we can get together in the future, and I'll just sit down and do our audiobooks.
That would rock.
The soothing sounds of Ron.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was a dark night.
It was a dark and stormy night, baby. You and I cuddled up next to the fireplace, wrapped up in a nice fur blanket. Oh,
The best reference on anyone reading a book was Gilbert Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, God.
That was like the best thing.
I don't know if I wanna.
You know,
Right?
You know.
I find it. I'm sending it to you.
Okay.
The way he reads it and the way that the people were doing this, like listening to the book and going back, like, it was perfect. Gilbert Gottfried's voice was never a voice that was intended to do audibles.
Well, that and Bobcat Goldthwait doing 50 Shades of Grey would have been funny too.
You know, Bobcat, though, I will say, became a great director and writer. He did one of the greatest found footage movies about Bigfoot ever made. I think it's called Believe. It is fucking phenomenal. Dude is a genius.
And, you know, even so, with both Gilbert Gottfried and Bobcat Goldthwait, they don't actually talk like that. It's just the way they affect their voice for a character.
Yeah. It's fucking
Bobcat
amazing.
Goldthwait was actually really soft-spoken.
Yep.
Anyway, why am I still here? I was supposed to be going to
I
bed.
don't know,
I don't know.
Hey, Raz, do you know what owl I stole for the show?
I have no idea what the fuck owl that is. It looks like he's on drugs.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so you don't know. I don't know. I wonder if
It's
Del
something we
knows.
made probably for something. I mean,
I don't know, but I've been staring at it going.
For a while, like Del made a bunch of different owls, like a bunch of different ones one night, just a ton of them, and put them in the folder. So I'm not even sure if that was ever meant for something other than just fun that day. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It looks familiar, but like, I mean, I know it's one of our owls. I just don't think we've actually used it for anything.
No,
Del says I have that one.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes, but I know it was made by you.
Home for the holidays.
Please tell me if we know what we were going to use it for.
Ron, for you saying that you're not going to be here because you're going to bed, you're not going to bed and you're still here.
I know, right? Okay. This is me signing off. And do you believe me now?
Nope.
Do you need help?
No one believes you.
I got it. I gotta find where the button is. And
wait, the button. Did you say the button? Wait. There's the button. See,
he did it.
I had to push the button for him.
So
thank you.
Since we're talking about dead on this, let's go ahead and go to Sydney, Ohio's posting for 7 hours ago. Are you ready?
Yes. I don't know what it's about, but yeah, sure.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. On February 18th, 2024, Sydney Police Department responded to Walmart. Okay. In regards on a
dysentery?
Where the hell? A amputated finger. Not dislocated, my bad. A amputated finger.
Bloody
and they went ahead and brought it down the Montgomery County coroner's office, which determined it was a human finger that was found of a white female. It's an ongoing investigation because they don't have the rest of the body. They would like to know why it was left at Walmart.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that is a
I kid you not. This had been told to me earlier today, and I just happened to look at my Facebook for anybody that had a question. And here it is.
Thank you, Ohio, for the finger.
Yep. Thank you, Ohio, for losing a finger.
They're giving us the finger.
So
Yeah, Ron gave us one earlier.
he did. It was that one.
And it
kind of looks like that one. If you put them together, it kind of look like that.
But not to be confused with this one. That's a game that I play sometimes with my friends. When I have friends that I'm actually hanging out with, which is rare in person. I would be like, oh, dude, I told you I was going to bring you something. I completely forgot about it. And then I'll search. Like, I'll check my pockets. I'll look around and like, what the fuck did I said that? And I'll be like, oh, shit, I remember. And I'll reach into a different pocket and just be like, and walk away.
Ooh, my favorite. Ray?
Yeah.
Or, ready?
The Terminator.
Isn't that that cop movie? What was it?
Well, what I did specifically was specifically from Grandma's Boy.
Oh yeah, there was one, and he was Police Academy. That's what it was. Police Academy. Yeah. He goes.
I love that man. His sound effects is brilliant.
You know, he still can do it too.
Oh yeah.
He loves doing it all the time. He'll go and he'll absolutely screw with people. And everybody will be like, oh, what the hell was that?
I don't know if he still does, but he used to do stand-up.
Once in a while. He likes to do stand-up when no one is asking him to do stand-up. Like, he'll just go and he'll just start doing stuff.
He'll just stand up and start doing things.
Yeah, he'll stand up in the middle of a crowd and start making his sounds and this and that. And then they realize that it's not him on the microphone. It's legitly him.
Did anybody watch RoboCop go pyramid diving on the History Channel?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, nope. RoboCop actually did a series where he explained about pyramids.
Yep. This is a thing that happened.
That is how I learned about Egypt. RoboCop taught me.
I feel like there's so many more.
I want to play the RoboCop video game that's out right now. It looks fucking amazing. Oh my god, yeah, it just came out like within the year. Like, it looks amazing.
That sounds cool.
I'm a big RoboCop fan.
Yes, me too. I have utterly no idea where we should take this conversation next.
Well, we were talking
where
about.
We were.
Oh well, I think I'm here and you're there, and Raz, you're there, and we got the picture of the owl that looks like it's having a tweak out, like it looks like a character off of South Park. What?
Oh yeah, I remember what it's for. Yeah, she just said what it's from. Yeah, it's this the artist storytelling show that her and I are gonna do. It was the Graffiti Owl. Yeah. I do remember she made it for a reason. I just pile his RoboCop upstairs.
He hasn't told us.
Ron.
Rob.
Oh yeah. Ron left.
That's the problem. He's been calling for the wrong person. And Rob is somewhere going, why is someone shouting Ron from my basement?
Rob said he was editing. And his brain kept on going through all the different ways that he's supposed to edit properly and how to make more stories. So that was an interesting post. And I'm like, yeah. Your brain goes everywhere all at once.
Hey, I will tell you something since we're talking about death.
You will tell us about a lot of stuff. Have you noticed?
I know, right? I love death. So
he's getting more milk duds.
Oh man, I feel like I should just do a shipment to his house.
No, what we need to do is find one of the places that does the bulk orders, like without the
Yep.
Milk Duds box, and then do a mock-up of a Milk Duds box, but with his face is the Milk Dud, right?
Yeah.
And call them Milk Robs, and then just repackage the Milk Duds and just send him like a shipment. That's what we should do.
That would be awesome.
Who wants to go to Sam's Club?
I'm in. Come pick me up.
So anyway,
That's a 15-hour drive.
really? Well, yeah, I guess it actually, for me, it is too.
Well, obviously,
Well-
it's going to be the same for you. If it's the same for her to come to where you are, it's going to be the same for you to get to her.
Well, yeah, that's 15 hours to your house from my
no,
house.
I thought you said 15 minutes. And we were talking about the
15-hour
Sam's
drive
Club.
to your house.
I think
and
we're
then
like,
to go wherever.
from where I was, I think it's like 7.5 hours, something like that, to get to Dell. I want to say it was 7 or so hours.
Oh no,
It's that way.
I'm not allowed
where you are in
looking up
Texas, I'm not sure.
I'm not allowed looking up on the map to find the closest town
Yeah.
to people anymore. People just think I'm too weird for that.
I'm farther south than he is, so I'm probably like an hour or so closer to you.
Just depends. If you gotta go through Columbus,
That's true. Yeah, it depends on which way I'm going to go. Yeah.
which it wouldn't be Columbus, it would be
Yeah, I
the
wouldn't go
other
to Columbus.
direction.
I wouldn't be going.
Whatever.
I wouldn't be going through Columbus to get to Texas.
So
from
let's
here.
go to Indiana or Kentucky.
I'm going southwest.
Go to Southwest.
Yeah, I'd be going southwest from where I am right now. And I'm already in southern. I'm already in southwestern Ohio, so I'm just going to be going down.
That's funny.
That
Just
would be-
remember, everything is awesome.
So you guys
Hey.
definitely won't see me a week from today.
Okay.
I definitely will not be around on next Thursday, because that is Leap Day / the official first wedding anniversary of me and Michelle. It's 4 years of being married, but we got married on Leap Day, so it's our first official anniversary.
That is
That
okay.
means that
We
we
can take the
should-
day off or do something else.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing yet. We're gonna go stay the night somewhere. We don't know where or what we're doing yet. We got to figure that out.
May you
Well,
have a good
Monday
adventure.
we have a show.
Yeah.
And I will be coming into that show
Late.
late. And then that should not be a problem anymore, because then I'm going to move it over to a Wednesday. And the Wednesday does not affect me as much as it affects Mr. Dr. Slasher, because
We got our Wednesday shows now, because Wednesday one is wrestling
Right.
and the other one's going to be on printed pages and starting in March.
right. So it might affect you guys, but it ain't going. Those are. It's a hit and miss if I'm on that one show, but the Matt's and Matt or Matt's
That's
and
monsters.
Yeah.
Dude, we had a blast. The new format, and Matt came up with all that by himself. This was his
Wow.
idea, man. The conversation, the first half being a conversation about the road to WrestleMania, the second half being our own federation that we're doing the color commentary before. Like, this was his thing. He dreamed it up. He wanted to do it, and I helped him do it, and we had such a fucking blast. So we hope other people will come on and help us do color commentary for these matches. I know the Winchester's only won because Sam's hand got possessed there at the end, and that was epic. That was an epic glitch.
I had a meeting to go to, and I had this and that, and I came in right when you guys were starting, but then I was like, you know what? My eyelids are getting tired, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing.
It was a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Oh yeah, guys,
is-
please go check out our King Sumo link. It's pinned to everybody's pages.
Yes.
Please join. There are many prizes. You could win my signed book. You could win Braz's books. You could win Dell's books. You could win Rob's books. And there's other prizes too.
Lots of prizes. I think there's a comic box pack from
Yes.
John. Yeah. Silverback Gorilla.
And
Silverback Graphics. Sorry, my brain is dead today.
that concludes That drawing concludes on your anniversary, correct?
Yep. When you guys do the drawing, I won't even be here.
Yes.
Yep. On leap day.
And then we got to figure something out because me and Raz was talking about having a haunt party in the works, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anybody would want to win some tickets to go to a haunt for a Easter event?
Yep.
And then hang out with Dr. Slasher and Mr. Hazard here. But we're putting some stuff in the works of that.
Yep.
And
and it won't be Hell's Dungeon this time. It'll be a completely different haunt that we also love and support very much in Columbus. So.
Oh yeah.
I got one too.
Yes, Dr. Divinity, the field of mimetics. I love it.
I will say that
change it to Dr. Friday.
Yes.
I will say that has, if everything goes right, we'll have 6 winners. That it's going to be one winner that can bring them and 5 others.
Yeah, I can bring 5 of my friends.
Yeah, that's a total of 6 people that could go on someone's dime. That we'll figure out who's going to pay for everything. I know who's going to pay for it, but
I'm there to help with snacks and to tell stories.
Dude, you're going to be in the passenger seat of that van throwing snacks back at people and telling them, "Are you dead?"
Yeah, you're gonna be.
And the thing is, I don't even know if there's anybody that would really want to jump aboard this concoction of. But you know what? We can make the concoction happen.
What we should do one of these days is do this prize thing where people that are local or want to travel to here or whatever, we'll pick them up in the creeper van and go to actual like paranormal like locations. And I'll tell you like all this. We'll tell you all the stories about the locations as we go and visit them, like a paranormal tour for Outlight. That'd be fun to do in the summertime.
I will even make sure that the van gets swept out with all the snacks out of it from the last one. So I will pick up all the pretzels that we will.
No, we both have children's armies at our haunt, so the child armies will converge and handle those things.
I tell one of my haunters here, sleep the van out. They'll look at me and go, "I'm not your slave."
Something that Fred wanted to do for a long time now is he wants to actually organize a party bus that will actually. You pay a fee, which is like your VIP, so that way when you get there, you get moved to the front of the line at the haunt, so you don't have to wait too long. But literally, it will take you to a couple different haunts in one night. You just pay one fee. The driver comes, you meet at a central location. The driver picks everybody up and just takes you to a couple different haunts, then brings you back and drops you off. And so then he's been talking about it on and off since we started the haunt. I think would be brilliant, man. I think a lot of the haunts in a certain area could get together and like work something out for that.
Okay, what did we decide Monday was?
What's Monday?
I don't
know. Oh, vampires. Vampires.
Oh,
yeah, that's
it's
right.
Legend.
Yeah, it's Legend. Monday is Legend. Yeah. Next Monday is Tomb of the Terrible, which I've already watched the movie.
I'm about to watch it again.
It's
I've already seen it 9 times since it came out. The first one I've seen 9 times. I love that fucking movie.
Dude, that car. I don't know why the light bar gets me every time I see it. It's like, no.
I oddly enough keep forgetting to watch the sequel. So like in the next couple of days, I'm just gonna do a double feature and watch them both.
Sounds like fun.
I've been behind on movies, so I've been trying to have these little movie nights, like where I just watch a bunch of shit. Like literally the other day, I said I was like, I want to watch some like movies that are kind of been out for a little bit now that I haven't seen or that are coming out. And I was like, okay, what am I gonna watch? So I started with Madam Web, and it surprised me. It was not great or really that good, but it was a lot better than Morbius and probably better than it had any right to be. I'm not going to say I recommend that everybody goes and watches it, but I mean, it was all right for what it was. I've seen way worse, like way worse. And then I watched Wonka, which I'm now in love with. I fucking love Wonka. Oh my God. Don't listen. If you like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like fucking watch it. Like it is brilliant. There's so many little nods to the original. And this is supposed to kind of be a prequel to the original. And you can tell that there's probably a lot of stories to tell between this one and then the one from the 70s that we, a lot of us grew up with. but like the songs were brilliant. The plot was, it was family. It was kind of a cute plot, but it was also a really well written, well done plot. And it was still weird that they used Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa, considering they had this opportunity to do something different. But I think they might do something different moving forward, I hope, because Hugh Grant was just one of the Oompa Loompas. And apparently you learn that they don't all look exactly alike, and they're not even all the same height. So like you learn a lot of things about like Oompa Loompas and stuff. So there's a chance to do what they should have been doing with that. But Hugh Grant did a really good job as well. And Timothy Chalamet, or Chalamet, whatever you pronounce his name, did a really good job. And then I watched Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. It was the best Aquaman. I liked it way better than the first one. It was brilliantly done. It was a good wrap up to him being Aquaman. And then I sat down with Michelle and watched Tremors because we were talking about it that night, and I hadn't seen Tremors in a while.
Right.
I just get a burr up my ass where I got to like check out these movies that I've been behind on.
No, that's not
That
burr
makes
up in
sense.
your ass. It's just you're behind on your diligence.
There was one I watched like a month or so ago that was like it had been out for like a year or more. It's called Barbarian. It's got Justin Long. It's got a lot of people in it, but Justin Long is what I'm remembering like immediately offhand. But it's about this guy whose life falls apart, and he makes sexual advances towards the girl on a film set or a TV show set or something, and gets like basically becomes a pariah, and his agent drops him, the production drops him, but he owns a like an Airbnb. And then it switches to the story about the people currently renting the Airbnb. Bill Skarsgård, he's in it. He's one of the main characters as well. And it's a horror movie, and there are like subplots going on at the same time as the main plot. Like the tale that's told, all wrapped together from all these different people involved in this, was brilliant. And I hadn't seen something that I enjoyed that much since probably Talk to Me or Black Phone. But Talk to Me was another one that I watched a couple months back about the severed. It looked like a severed mannequin hand. So you like put it in your hand and you said these words, and then it became like a corpse hand, and then you could see the dead, and all kinds of crazy shit happened. It was inventive.
That sounds cool.
It was a really good movie. I really don't go to movie theaters anymore. I like the drive-in, and if I don't get to go to the drive-in, I just don't go out and see movies.
I miss the drive-in.
We got a bunch of them.
Speaking of things that are almost totally dead.
No, dude, Ohio is like one of the biggest movements for drive-ins in our country. Like we've actually had plenty of closed, of course, but some of them are going so strong. Like the Dixie in Dayton, that's huge. The Holiday Auto Theater over in Hamilton is huge. And those are just the two that are closest to me. There are a ton more in Ohio, man. There's one over in Ravenna. There's a bunch of them. And I think Ohio might have more drive-ins or close to the record on drive-ins. I actually have to look that up. But we still have a lot of them. And they're brilliant. And during COVID, drive-ins were the best because not a lot of movies, like new movies and stuff, were coming out. And so they started getting licenses to watch all the classic movies. So I got to go one night and watch E.T. and it was E.T. and Goonies at the drive-in. And they were getting just all kinds of like cool movies. So you could still go out and be social, but you were in your own car. And you brought your own food and snacks so you didn't have to get out of your car, but you still got to be out in the world and like doing something during COVID, which was so cool. And like COVID really, if anything, brought drive-ins even more into the limelight. And we do. Del is right about that. We have drive-ins on lakes. They're not permanent drive-ins. They are drive-in pop-ups. Well, they'll get the big floating screen out in the water, and you can sit on the beach and watch the movie, or you can like dock on your boat and just sit on your boat and watch the movies. They're really cool. I haven't been to one of those in a while, but I've seen Jaws in that environment a couple times.
I've never seen one.
A drive-in?
I like that. No, I've never seen a drive-in on a lake.
Oh, it's so cool, man. We also have pop-up ones that are just in parking lots sometimes with a giant blow-up screen. Sometimes people, like businesses, will put on these big events. That happened a lot during COVID, too, to get people, out of their homes, but in a parking lot where your cars are, and you maybe couldn't make it to a drive-in. But a lot of companies in a lot of states were doing the pop-up drive-ins during COVID. It's just this thing that kind of had its time, and it died a little bit. And then when the digital age came out, a lot of more drive-ins closed, and a lot of the movies, the delivery system for movie theaters also went digital. So it was really hard for drive-ins that had all the old equipment to kind of survive it. So we had 3 just in this area that closed. 3 big ones that just couldn't afford to do anything about it, had to close. But the other ones, they leaned on their community. We gave back to them what they gave to us. And, we all kind of gathered around in the communities and helped these drive-ins, with donations, coming out, doing events, to where they could afford to retrofit all their machinery.
Right. That is cool.
Yep. I know the Dixie even has the Dixie even has a little museum in it now, like the history of their drive-in.
That is cool. I love places with museums.
We have a haunt that has a museum. Dent Schoolhouse actually has a full-on museum for the whole history of their haunt, which is a very long history. So they used to have a different name.
Hydro does too.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Hydro does too. Yeah.
Hydro's in a trailer.
It's something that we want to do eventually with the dungeon. We've talked about doing it, making a museum out of some of our older props and just all kinds of different stuff out in the queue line.
Right.
But now we have a Nerf arena in our queue line that he's still working on.
Really?
We have party rooms in there now. He's just about done building the party rooms, which I think may turn into some one-room escape room things later this season. I do not know what all our plans are, because after the Valentine's Day show, we all agree not to talk to each other about haunt business until after Transworld. Then he goes to Transworld and comes back, and then we start having meetings again and planning and talking, and then we start building again. And it's that downtime where we can just breathe a little bit every year, which I hate, by the way. I hate it. I hate downtime.
I understand that. That's why I'm doing weird stuff like this. I needed to have a death day where I could talk about dead loved ones and be in a place where nobody had a problem with it. But I have very few friends that like the idea of talking about death.
It's a normal thing we all experience every day.
And a lot of people of us don't like talking about it.
To me, it's weird not to talk about it because it's such a part of life, I guess.
Yes.
But I'm also a very odd person, so I do not represent the norm.
That's why I love you. I love everything about you and all the things that you're willing to, like, okay, that's Jenny, that's fine. I still want to be her friend.
Well, yeah. I don't know if that's just me as a person or because of my neurodivergence, but like, listen, I got friends that believe a lot of things that I don't, or do a lot of things that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
That doesn't, and none of that is related to you at all, honestly. I'm talking like some crazy shit. And like, I'm just always a live and let live kind of person, I guess. And if you do something that like personally affects me or I think is so wrong or so bad that I just can't do it, I'll let you know, and I'll be honest about it, and I'll talk about it. I won't just dip. But like, people do their own things, and you don't always have to love everything about them or support every single little one of their beliefs or thoughts or ideas. But that doesn't mean you can't be friends.
Exactly.
Right.
A lot of people, get divisive over, politics more than anything. And I cannot tell you how many like multi-decade friendships that I saw just get obliterated over politics. Which just breaks my fucking heart that there's any topic like that that's so divisive that just from having a simple difference of opinion suddenly makes you hate each other. And I know that's largely also based on my neurodivergence and not understanding emotion sometimes, but like I don't get how people can just be willing to throw away giant parts of their life over an opinion.
Dude, that last one.
What?
I can't. That last idea that what I believe about any president or any city official can ruin our friendship.
Yeah. And I'm not going to get political here, but let's be honest. Every president we have sucks. Every president we've had, have currently, or will ever have will suck. Get over it. It's sad. It's true.
Right.
They spend the first half of their term fixing up the fuck ups of actually their first 4 years. If they hopefully they get more than 4 years, hopefully for them if they like that. They spend their first whole term just fixing up fuck ups from the person before them, and if they're lucky enough to get a second term, by that point they're pissed and they're just like, well, fuck it, I didn't get to do anything I wanted to do, so I'm just gonna make it all happen now. And then the next president comes in and has to spend 4 years fixing. It's the cycle, man. It's just that's who we are as people.
So is that officially the owl that we are going to choose for the?
No, because.
Well, won't we let Rez look at the other one, the one I just sent?
Well, for what?
For the show.
There's this owl, this owl,
nice,
and this owl. I like this one and this one.
I like that one there a little bit better.
This one that's
the
up.
morning.
We need an official owl though for Corpse Garden with our owl.
Yeah. No, this is just until I can get an official us owl.
I do like that one though, with the 3 owls.
Yeah.
One you want on that tombstone one of our official owls.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can turn him to stone. I'll have to see if I can
get him stoned.
Yeah,
I'll get him stoned.
No, not like that, Raz.
All right, come here, buddy.
As you can tell, this is what I've been working on for the last few minutes of finding a owl and this and that, and that's my only contribution I can really do. That I feel like I'm really a good part to this entire wonderful show system. Oh, I think I do.
You definitely do.
Dude, this is not your only contribution. You contribute a lot. Although, one of them, I'm making my temporary profile picture until I can get the one with our owl on it. Because I like the cemetery.
The cemetery one?
Yeah, that one's...
Yeah.
If you haven't figured out yet, I have a favorite place that is not my house. My favorite place of all time is my house. My second favorite place is any cemetery in the United States.
So the official owl that we use is the little brown owl, right?
Do you see this dude? Some variation of this dude.
Okay.
He's in straight jackets and armor. He's in all kinds of different things.
Because there's the straight jacket, and then she turned him into a stained glass because Jenny is just odd like that, and she thinks it's the best thing ever.
It is.
So yeah, I love Dell. Dell is amazing. Do you hear us, woman?
No, I think I've decided what we need to do, man. We need to start a business, an Ohio-based business, because there's a lot of major cities that have paranormal tours, right? But they're kind of cut and dry. They're like, what? They're weird. But like some of the most famous paranormal tours involving literally just stuffing people in a giant van and going to the sites and telling people the stories and letting them get out and like experience things a little bit. And like you see those in like Louisiana and in places like that where there's like a lot of like history. Man, there is so much in and around Dayton and even up by your area, man. Like, I think people would pay a shitload of money for stuff like that, especially like during nicer weather and if they don't have to drive.
I would love to. And Del, we did talk about making him with a tombstone of some sort a while ago, like 8 months ago.
Oh shit, that was like the beginning.
Happened. Yeah, stuff has happened a lot. And dude, we've been on for 10 months as our own network.
Really?
Yeah, because my kid asked a question and I had to count it up. I'm like, yeah, that's been 10 months now, baby girl. It's like, oh, cool.
Wow. It feels like forever, but yesterday at the same time. It's hard to, but in the best ways possible.
Some days are more anxiety ridden than others, and some days are just like, hey, I'm good to go.
what I like about this is that when we decided to do our own network and all this stuff, like we knew it was going to be hard. We knew there was going to be a lot of moving parts. And out of all the projects that I've done, especially with this big a group of people and all the moving parts we have, it's been easy. Like, not that the work has been easy, and not that it's not difficult to podcast, because it has its challenges, but like the mentality behind it, the process of like I get up and I don't feel like it's a job. Like I want to do it. I want to be here as often as possible. It's relaxing, it's calm, it's fun. Like I don't know, it's a really enjoyable project, man.
Right.
You could put them in front of the tombstone.
Yeah.
Because Pyle's suggestion is not bad to have them in front of the tombstone.
I know. Sometimes you get into a group with projects and there's more drama in like a month or two than there is like in the rest of your whole life. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is like the biggest, between the whole family thing and trying to figure that out, this is like the biggest running parts I've done with the least amount of like any type of arguing or fighting. There's been disagreements that we can talk like, hey, I don't understand what the hell. And other things are like, hey, this is how this works. And this is my suggestion. And then we talk.
Honestly,
but no actual fight.
Yeah, like even disagreements, I'd say they've been mostly pretty minor, and most of it's been because one person was half asleep or just tired or exhausted, whatever, and not understanding something, and we're like, oh, okay. I've been the person that's been exhausted and not understanding something before too, but it's the way we interact and we handle things. Like we didn't have to create a system to talk about things and handle each other and have rules. It was just we're all kind of the same thought process. Like, hey, there's an issue, we just sit down and talk about it. Yeah. That way, and it's not even really an issue at all. It's a question. Pretty much. It's nice. It's nice to be in a large group of mostly like-minded individuals,
Pop that picture up for Raz.
Uno momento. I'm trying to.
And then if you want the cemetery behind you, I can put the cemetery in there. It doesn't take me that long for me to my thing. By the way, I'm the one that creates all of our photos, this and that for our haunt.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Your videos are wonderful. I definitely would love to get a
well, that's cool.
Yeah, this is his suggestion.
We just need it with a transparent background.
Yeah.
It is on a transparent background. It's just for some reason it is not pulling up a transparent for that. That's why I said I can put the cemetery in the background.
That's really cool.
Because it's pulling it up on mine, not having a background.
What
it's
kind
just
of
not doing it for yours. Huh?
What's the file type on it?
Whatever this app is.
Okay. To uno momento, beautiful lady. I will send it to you.
Dell can fix it.
Yeah, Dell's epic. That's why I sent her a poem telling her how much I love her.
Dell.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. It's got the grays, it's got the outlines, it's got this and that.
If anyone at home is wondering what that weird loud sound is in my background, that would be my wife snoring.
I can't hear it on my end.
She was real loud a second ago, now she's quiet again. It comes in phases. It's hilarious.
We love it.
And she knows I talk about it on the show sometimes too.
Well, my biggest thing is I like to do this little contribution to us, and I never know if somebody wants to do it and I've just been stepping on someone's toes.
I don't know. Do you feel like he's stepping on your toes still? And I'm just grateful you joined me tonight, Pyle.
No, yeah. I mean, like doing this artwork and this and that. I love doing this.
And that's the cool thing about our group. Like, listen, if one of us feels like someone else is stepping on their toes, we're probably just gonna tell you.
Right.
Like, you won't have to wonder. You won't have to question. It's like, hey, no, I got it. You're cool. Like.
Dude,
And
you're even willing to have my dad as your thing for the show.
Yeah.
I like turtles.
I like turtles too.
You
I'm
like
weird.
tutoring up for the Turtle Club?
I like tombstones.
I love that movie too, Masters of Disguise. Or Master of Disguise.
Is it okay? Let me ask you this: is it weird to have a dead animal collection?
Not really.
Okay.
I know a lot of people that have.
Do you have any idea how many hunters have a dead animal collection?
Oh, well, this is.
I mean, I don't have one, but I want to do. Go ahead.
Like finding a robin wing sticking in there, a rabbit's foot that was off of the rabbit, and just different things.
No, I mean serial killers do that all the time, man. It's completely normal.
Serial killers. Okay, Jaden, you're getting rid of your collection.
They always start as nice and quiet, and they start as nice, quiet, and collecting animal parts, man.
He's afraid to tell people that he's a haunter.
You were talking about that the other day, which kills me, man.
I love who he is. He's epic.
Like his IEP, it talks about him walking dogs and doing this, doing that. But he will not put on there that he is a haunter and he likes to going to other haunts and working with other haunters. By the way, me and him also had a conversation, and he is so bummed now that the situation happened. Feel free to do.
See, I told
Thank you, Del. Del, you're awesome.
We're getting a Del.
Dude, we got a Del.
I fuck with her in those commercials all the time.
Raz, you got some kind of buzzing noise in the background.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you could hear it that time. Yeah. That's the monster in the basement. That's the beast.
Love your wife. Love your wife.
I do sometimes.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. That is awesome. I like that.
Del is epicness.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Pyle. You are epicness too.
Casino, did you win?
So wait. You're saying being in pajamas means you can't join us, but I'm literally in my pajamas right now, which is literally just a normal t-shirt that I wear and Rick and Morty pajama pants because you can't see my pants.
Okay, my kid's favorite place.
Morty, I made myself into pajamas.
Yes, so come join us if you wish.
I'm often in my pajamas when we do shows.
I think she was like, hell no, I'm not coming.
Well, technically, I'm still in my pajama pants. I just put on a pretty shirt because I wanted to look respectful for Heather.
Well, if it makes you feel better, when you messaged me, I was like, okay. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. And April's like, what are you doing? I said, grabbing a shirt. She goes, EDS call? No. I said, Friday. She goes, tomorrow's Friday.
Every day is Friday at Allied.
Yes, Friday is always here no matter where. And now, no matter what
every
day,
month?
now I'm Dr. Friday.
Yep.
You know what? Every month, we are going to have Friday on the 13th.
Friday's always there on the 13th.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we need to make a show that is Friday on the 13th. We don't know what the show is going to be about. Maybe it's the thoughts of Friday, and we just get to hear her thoughts.
Okay, my thoughts on what?
Everything. Anything.
42.
Okay, I have starfish on my favorite towel.
Hell yeah. Tally is the towel that I would bring with me.
You know what?
Galaxy,
Grab the starfish towel because it's pretty and it's nearly as tall as I am.
If I had a starfish towel, I would use the starfish towel to cover my starfish.
I don't have a starfish anymore. I used to have Oscar fish, but they committed suicide. And so did my birds. Life is confusing as a kid.
I think he's referring to his chocolate starfish.
So, yeah, my birds literally pecked their chests open. whenever I was young. And then my one decided to swallow a rock, the really pretty female. And the guy just jumped out of the tank to literally meet my dad, but he didn't come in right away, so he sort of suffocated.
April had one of those goldfish with the big buggy eyes,
Mhm.
and it swam and shoved its eye into the suction pipe. So then it sucked out the eye.
I'm still
swam
dying
away.
inside right now because he was referring to his anus when he said starfish. His second use of the word starfish. And then you said, I don't have one of those anymore.
I know. I just let it go.
I was down there just dying. On the
Well,
inside
here's
and the
the
outside.
bad thing. The joke went over my head.
I know, that's why that was why it was funny.
I don't want to think about mine because I have hemorrhoids.
Yeah. Same. I'm old, man.
Oh my gosh. You know, this death talk took a deadly turn.
Yeah, I started
Sometimes it itches and sometimes it burns.
I've given up on steering this wheel. It's just going.
Hey, Doofy, smell my finger. What's that? That's what it smells like being a real man. Smell my finger. What the heck is that? My ass.
Shriek if you know what I did last Halloween or something like that. No, shriek if you know what I did last Friday the 13th.
No, that was off of Scary Movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Officer Doofy, ain't ready for duty.
I get those confused.
Said, leave me alone when I'm cleaning my room.
The shriek if you know what I did last Friday the 13th was almost just like that particular Scary Movie. Like they shared very similar plot lines. Both comedies making fun of horror movies. But...
Hey, did you ever watch a movie called Sleepaway Camp?
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's many of them. There's the original 3. Then there was the 4th one that never actually got released, except for the footage got released on a special collector's edition. And then they made a spin-off movie, and then they made a movie where they went back, and Angela was back. So there's 5, 6 if you count the unmade one.
Did you, by any chance, ever be able to do a mobile haunt called a Sleepaway Camp?
No, but I always wanted to. There's been a few of them over the years that have toured around the U.S. and I've always wanted to do one. I've actually wanted to act at one, like, and help put one together more so that I've wanted to experience one.
If you would like to, I'm working on one.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But yeah, so we're 3 hours into this. I am probably going to do.
Yeah, we should.
I don't know if you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
can
we
I get
totally
a version.
You want a what?
Of that owl.
You want a what?
You know how you put the cemetery behind one of the others?
Yeah.
Can I get the one you just made?
Absolutely, darling. Absolutely. No problem. We'll get working on that.
I appreciate you both. Okay, guys. Where would you like people to find you?
Don't.
Okay.
Just don't.
In the dumpster down the road.
Well, for Raz, I just look up his name. I don't search him out because I'll end up talking to me mainly. But I do like to read his stories or listen to his stories. It's always fun. Okay. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.